Before the lights, before the crowd, before the first snap, there was the work. A new season brings new faces.
This is John Spytek in Las Vegas. How you doing?
Veterans setting the standard. Rookies chasing a dream. One team, one shield.
Team-first approach is the #1 thing, trying to keep the eye out of the building as much as possible.
Every practice demanded something more. Every day led to this moment. Raider Nation, it's time. Raiders football is back.
And it is back in the entertainment capital of the world. Preseason week 1. The Raiders welcoming the Cardinals inside Allegiant Stadium with the future looking very bright for the silver and black. #1 overall pick Fernando Mendoza tonight will make his NFL debut. Hey folks, how are you? Jason Horowitz, 2002 NFL MVP Rich Gannon, former Raiders leading tackler Kirk Morrison. Happy to have you with us for the start of the 2026 campaign here in Las Vegas. And yes, we have done this before. It is another reset for the silver and black. But Rich, this one feels different. You got a coach coming off a Super Bowl leading the offense in Seattle, and obviously the #1 overall pick.
Well, Jason, there's been a lot of change around this organization, particularly as it relates to the head coaching position, and we need some stability. I think Klint Kubiak brings that. He came up through the profession the right way by really working at his craft. Obviously, he grew up around the game. His father, Gary, was a terrific player and obviously won a world championship as a head coach. But I think the timing is right for Klint. He's had a lot of success everywhere he's been. He's left an impact, particularly in the quarterback room and particularly on the offensive side of the ball. You look at the struggles the Raiders had last year. And if they can't run the ball, I don't care who's playing quarterback. They've got to get the running game straightened out. They've got to get better production from the offensive line. If you look at what Klint Kubiak did last year in Seattle, the Seahawks were a top 10 offense in just about every major statistical category, culminating in a world championship win over the Patriots. I think what he brings is production and consistency to this football team, and particularly the offense.
And he had the AP NFL Offensive Player of the Year in Jackson Smith and Jigba. And these are the two guys he's running with. Kirk Cousins, year 15. Fernando Mendoza wearing 15, year 1.
And I love this quarterback room. Kirk Cousins has a wealth of experience. He's thrown for almost 45,000 yards and almost 300 touchdowns. I think he's going to help this young quarterback. And I think at the end of the day, it's all about the development with Fernando Mendoza. He's got so many of the qualities that you love, guys, at the quarterback position. He's got the size. I think he's got the physical and mental toughness. He's a playmaker. I think he's a classic pocket passer. And I am so excited. I can't wait to see this kid play.
As is the country, and we're going to see him at plenty of reps tonight. But it's not just the offense. 3-14 a year ago. The defense totally revamped Kirk. Rob Leonard, the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Rob Leonard, 3 previous seasons, he was a defensive line coach for the Raiders. He got promoted to defensive coordinator, and what did the Raiders do? They went out and they got him some help defensively. They went out and got Kwity Paye. They went out and got Nakobe Dean. They went out and got Quay Walker. Oh, and by the way, Taron Johnson also, a trade with the Buffalo Bills. The Raiders had 10 draft picks in 2026. They used 6 of them on the defensive side, 4 of them defensive backs. And what I've seen so far in training camp, a Rob Leonard defense has 2 words: multiplicity and versatility. That's what you see with a lot of these guys. And, oh yeah, by the way, they still got Max Crosby, too, right? But with these 2 guys right here in particular, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker, adding to the Georgia football players, by the way, on this roster for the Raiders, but 2 guys who have downhill, smash-mouth defensive linebacking capabilities. And I love that. Nakobe Dean, the Super Bowl champion, all of these guys, they bring a tenacity and a toughness that I think Rob Leonard has established so far.
And leadership. Quay Walker was the captain for the Packers defense last year and led them in tackles the last 4 years as well. But we all know this. You have the #1 pick. Everyone's looking at Fernando Mendoza. Tonight is his NFL debut. Klint Kubiak on the guy that will be the second quarterback in tonight.
There's, new things that he's learning every day. And, again, he's working hard. He's like everybody, every other rookie. They're introduced to a whole new level of football. And there's going to be days of failure and days of success. And as long as they can keep getting better, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I think one of the worst things you can do, guys, is rush a young quarterback onto the playing field. There'll be a time, there'll be a place. I think right now the time is for Kirk Cousins, the veteran, but I'm so excited to see this young quarterback. He did so many great things in college last year, an undefeated team in Indiana, national championship. He brings a lot of pride and poise to the position.
And it's the unique situation. You get a #1 overall pick with a brand new head coach. The Cardinals won the preseason toss. Remember, they played last week in the Hall of Fame game. 63 combined points with the Carolina Panthers. Starters didn't play. They will tonight. We are set for the opening kickoff, the brand new lights. It's preseason. It's still an entertainment here in Allegiant Stadium. And we are underway with Devin Tompkins coming up with the kickoff across the 20. And he's got some space to the 30. And he's out of bounds on the Cardinals sideline on a 28-yard kickoff return. The former Buccaneer and Carolina Panther, which will bring out Kirk Cousins, the 4-time Pro Bowler. Washington, Minnesota, the last 2 years after the torn Achilles did not work out in Atlanta, but he seems renewed. The energy is there, the leadership, and he has the experience with Klint Kubiak. They were together for 3 seasons in Minnesota, and so he is the starter for this offense, and a fullback is Connor Hayward, and last year's #6 overall pick, and that, of course, Ashton Jeanty. Gets the opening handoff. Gets a few yards downfield into the pile. And, of course, the other addition, quarterback, such a big storyline. But you don't want to run the football unless you get better offensive line play, Kirk, and they went out and got Tyler Linderbaum at center.
Yeah, that was the prized possession of this offseason for the Raiders. Everybody said, would they get Tyler Linderbaum? Would he come to Las Vegas? Well, not only did he come, he's the highest paid center in the National Football League. And what a weapon for a young quarterback, whether it's Fernando Mendoza or even a veteran such as Kirk Cousins.
Spencer Burford, the former 49er, has been settled in at that left guard spot as well. Battle on the offensive line really been on the right side at right guard. Cousins, first pass as a Raider. It's deflected, and it is incomplete. Jordan Birch got his hands up. L.J. Collier knocked it down. And so a 3rd and 7 here on the opening drive of preseason.
Guys, I know there's a lot of focus on the quarterback position, but I think you got to forget about the quarterback position for just a second. If the Raiders don't get better play from their offensive line, it's not going to matter who's playing quarterback. The Raiders' offensive line was the worst in the league last season. Dead last in rushing. They gave up 64 sacks the most. You got to be able to run the football to win, and that really sets the tone for your entire football team.
Jack Besh split out there in the slot with Trey Tucker on that left side. Besh in his second year, the 2nd-round pick last year on 3rd down. Cardinals with a blitz. Cousins to Besh, and he snags it. Able to haul it in front of Will Johnson, the starting corner. It's a pickup of 10, and they move the sticks.
Yeah, that's what excites me about Jack Besh. Everyone's saying, when is Jack Besh going to pop? When is he going to pop? He pops on 3rd down. He's a combat catcher. You got guys draped all over you, and watch the hands catch. See, he brings that football all the way in. That's when Jack Besh is at his best. It's those types of routes draped by defenders.
Last year, just once had more than 2 catches. Certainly like him in the slot here in year #2. Fresh set of downs and a play action. Cousins, Michael Mayer across midfield, and they pick up 7 yards into Cardinal territory. Zaven Collins tracked him down.
You think about Kirk Cousins, and guys, I'm telling you, he's got some mobility to get out on the edge of a defense. I think the play action game is going to be a big part of what the Raiders do in 2026.
The 2 tight ends, Brock Bowers in year #3, got hurt week 1 last year, never really healthy all season long. Put him at Michael Mayer, who's now in year #4, and they like both those guys. Jeanty trying to keep the legs going, about a yard shy of the marker. Mack Wilson, and a linebacker for the Cardinals in year 8 out of Alabama. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
I got a lot of respect for what Ashton Jeanty did last year, guys. I give him a ton of credit. It wasn't easy running behind that offensive line. He had 975 rushing yards. He averaged 3.7 per rush. But there was too many negative runs a season ago, and that's why you went out and got Tyler Linderbaum, a big physical center that can move people at the point of attack.
Tight ends in the game for Cousins. It's another run behind Linderbaum. It's a 1st down. It's a burst. And that is what everyone wanted to see last year from the #6 overall pick.
This is why you get Tyler Linderbaum.
With the movement inside along that offensive line.
Absolutely. 3rd and 1, Rich, right up the gut.
Big physical. You see the double teams. You see the run right down the middle. And listen, Ashton Jeanty, guys, can be a physical downhill runner for a back his size. I just love how he finishes.
You know, in the conversation around the league for so many years, the last 10, you don't draft a running back high. Raiders took him, and we're going to see Jeremiyah Love tonight as well. Didn't play last week, but on the other side, Cardinals took him at number 3 overall this year. Fresh set of downs. 37-year-old Cousins finds Tucker with space, and he's near the red zone. Will Johnson knocks him out of bounds. 15 more on what is an impressive opening drive for the Silver and Black.
I love the personnel groupings, Rich. We've seen 12, 21. We've seen 13. We've seen 22 with 2 backs, 2 tight ends. And then you still have Trey Tucker. So you got the one-on-one on the outside with the linebacker. That's pretty easy pitch and catch.
I think that's a staple of Klint Kubiak's philosophy offensively. He's going to change it up on you, give you different looks, personnel groupings, formations, motions. Make this defense adjust on the fly.
First look at Mike Washington, 4th-round pick out of Arkansas in the backfield. His first carry behind a fullback. And he picks up a couple of yards down to the 18-yard line in a pile. You know, you got Ashton Jeanty, shorter, thick running back. Mike Washington, different story. 6'1". He's over 220 pounds. 4th-round pick who had a massive year last year with the Razorbacks.
I love watching him. When his shoulders are square, it's good night, Irene. I mean, he is a guy who he doesn't show you where he's going because he keeps his shoulders so square to the line of scrimmage that it forces linebackers to have to figure out which holes he's going to go to. He's able to sidestep and find daylight.
10th play of the drive, 4.5 minutes into this opening quarter for Kirk Cousins. Tucker comes back to the football, hauled it in. Denzel Burke in his 2nd year out of Ohio State. They got young corners here in Arizona. They like them in the outside. They'll bring up 3rd down and about 3 for the Raiders.
And you see the anticipation from the veteran Kirk Cousins. He gets the ball out really quick, even before Tucker's out of the break. About Kirk Cousins, he's got a very high football IQ. He's played a lot of football the last 14 seasons. 167 career starts under his belt.
Minnesota was having a massive year in 23 before he tore his Achilles. Signed with Atlanta. They drafted Michael Penix. Last year he did go 5-3 as a starter. On 3rd down, fires to Mayer. He is open. Touchdown Raiders. What do you want to see on the opening drive of preseason? Missed his opening pass here in the preseason. Then he had 4 in a row and a 6-0 lead here for the Raiders over the Cardinals.
Well, the tight end position is a position of strength, and the usage is going to be critical because you have some great players. Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, the ability to attack the middle of the field with size and speed. The matchup problems are a real issue for linebackers and safeties on those 2 tight ends.
New kicker for the Raiders, been a battle in camp. Matt Gay. Kansei Matsuzawa battling out. Gay knocks in the extra point, and it is 7-0. Everyone asks, what do you want to see from the starters? You want to see them look good, and you want to see it punch it in the red zone. Raiders did both those things here in the first quarter. Michael Mayer on the receiving end of a 13-yard touchdown to cap off a 10-play, 68-yard drive, Rich Gannon.
Well, you're going to get a little pick, and you just watch the motion come in. And keep an eye on the tight end. He's going to be wide open in the flat. Nice rub by Tucker, and a really good throw by Kirk Cousins. That was just too easy.
Yeah, personnel groupings. Like you saw it, 11 personnel, 12 personnel. You just love what Klint Kubiak's doing. We saw the fullback on that first drive, a couple of plays as well, so he didn't draw it up any better.
You know, quarterback's best friend is the tight end, and tight ends that can work in the middle of the field, tight ends that can put their foot in the ground. And I think we talked about a little bit earlier that this tight end usage is going to be critical for the Raiders. It's absolutely a position of strength. You got 2 really good tight ends here in Las Vegas.
And that was the plan, the conversation going into last year with Pete Carroll in his 1 year here with the Silver and Black. Brock Bowers had over 100 yards in game 1, but then the injury, missed a few games.
And even Thomas has some ability in the passing game as well.
Kickoff coming down to Arizona and stopped shy of the 30-yard line. Amir Smith-Marset in his first year with the Cardinals. Their new head coach, right? 2 of the 10 head coaches that are new in the league, Mike LaFleur and They will send out Jacoby Brissett. Now, they last week had a big game for Carson Beck, the rookie out of Miami. He's not playing tonight. Brissett, the expected starter. That certainly, Kirk, has been a conversation around football. You see a rookie third-round pick of a big game. Brissett, though, is the veteran. That's their expected starter.
Yeah, he was his own agent this offseason as well. They rewarded him with a nice little deal to be their starting quarterback for the season.
And they gave him the 3rd overall pick in the backfield, Jeremiyah Love, who gets his first ever carry. Brought down by Nakobe Dean. Brissett last year, career high across the board in yards and completion percentage, but he went 1-11 as a starter. Offense was there. He couldn't stop anybody.
Yeah, we talk about Brock Bowers on our side when it comes to the Raiders offense. They've got a pretty good tight end, and Trey McBride on the opposite side. One of those 99 Madden players if you play the game, Jason.
McBride not playing tonight. He is not one of those 2 tight ends that is on the field. And Michael Wilson makes the grab across the line, and he's shoved out of bounds by Jeremy Chin. A couple yards shy of the marker. Wilson with McBride last year combined. Both went over 1,000 yards. First time the Cardinals had that in a decade.
Yeah, Wilson, to me, is one of their guys that I look for this year as maybe the go-to player. Marvin Harrison Jr., he's on that offense as well, but everybody's still waiting for him to pop. Right now, to me, it may be Michael Wilson could be their guy, the go-to guy after Trey McBride.
Marvin Harrison Jr.'s really struggled, guys, with the consistency. He's dropped a lot of balls. Look at his confidence back.
This against the Raiders starting defense minus Max Crosby. Brissett takes the shot. Harrison. It's over his arm, but a flag flies. Taron Johnson was grabbing on behind him in coverage, and this is going to be a Cardinals first down.
No reason for it. He's actually in really good position. He's got help over the top.
Pass interference, number 3. Defense. Spot foul, automatic. First down.
Yeah, Rich, I don't see much there, though. I see both players fighting for the football. I really do.
He had that right arm
locked at the end. Yep. It looked like they were both fighting for position. And like you mentioned, he was right there in position. And a nice job by Jeremy Chin staying over the top as well at safety. So you're seeing some of the multiple versatility I talk about with this defense, where a guy can line up at safety one play. Next play, he's lined up down in the box playing linebacker.
It's a 20-yard penalty against what is now a Rob Leonard. That defensive line coach here in the last 3 years. Back to Jeremiyah Love, and he is drilled. Quay Walker, the leading tackler for the Packers last year. He and Nakobe Dean, Georgia teammates, national champions, and they are reuniting here in Las Vegas.
Oh, this is target practice right here. This is target practice, right? Quay Walker right in the middle. Watch how he stays patient, gets off the block, and you got to make the tackle. Bam, that's how you do it. Staying patient, shuffle, and finish.
The linebacker room looks a lot different this year, guys. Dean, Walker, Pay, all in free agency. A lot of talent, depth, and experience at the linebacker spot.
And a false start here against the Cardinals in a younger group, too.
Yes.
False start, number 73. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That is Isaac Seumalo, brought in this year. He has certainly been stalwart when he has played with the Steelers, the Eagles. Signed this year to be their starting left guard. Cardinals last year, they struggled to run too. Raiders were the only team behind them. They finished 31st, and they brought in their own offensive guru to run things. Mike LaFleur in his first year as the head coach. Dumps it down to Love, and a solid job by Taron Johnson. In open space, you want your outside guys to hold on for dear life, and he just did that.
You just want to hold on long enough for the guys, the cavalry, to come down. That's a big play from Taron Johnson. Look, he's only 5'11", 192. We saw the ability of Jeremiyah Love in college. That's a huge solo tackle to set up third down.
Cardinals going quick, not letting the Raiders get set. Brissett, Wilson, first down, Arizona. Beat Eric Stokes to the outside, inside the 30-yard line. That's a pickup of 17.
Yeah, this was more about the route. The route by Michael Wilson, it sold the inside and then got away with a little bit of a tug. Watch at the end. See the push-off there. Kind of turned Eric Stokes around. You're not going to get that call in the NFL, but that's a terrific job of using his hands to create separation, and that's how he's able to make the completion.
Wilson in his 4th year out of Stanford. Last year, big-time breakout year. 78 grabs. Tyler Algier coming over from the Falcons. He had been the battering mate for Bijan Robinson the last few years. Now he's going to be with Jeremiyah Love, and it's a backfield for Arizona. James Conner, Trey Benson, both still on this roster, both coming off serious injuries last year. You draft Love, you sign Algier. You know, they're trying to figure out what this is going to look like for them as well.
It's a crowded backfield, and you only got one football. So Jeremiyah Love is going to get his touches. You mentioned Connor and Tyler Algier, who you signed in free agency. Only one football.
2nd and 3. Algier cuts it to the outside. The big man showing some speed, and he picks up a first down into the red zone to the 14. It's a 7-yard scamper.
Yeah, this just has to be a late field. Jeremy Chin comes down too late. He's got to make sure he keeps his outside hand free, because he doesn't. That's how you're able to get out here. Just watch the left side. Coming in late, we'll see Jeremy Chin. He's got to be a little more width. See how he's chasing him now?
Take a
if
better
he's got
angle.
a little more of a better angle, have a little more width, he turns that football back in. It's a tackle for loss.
More upfield and force it back inside where you got some help.
Now the Raiders open this preseason with a 10-play drive, put it in the end zone. This is the 10th play of the Cardinals drive. By the 33-year-old Jacoby Brissett. Back to the big man. Good pursuit from behind. And the Raiders stop him from no gain. Again, it's Quay Walker.
We talked about it in the open, right? Chase, downhill. Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean. Chase, run down. That's what these linebackers do.
Yeah, they just win the line of scrimmage. I mean, look at all those black jerseys.
Playing on that side.
You get penetration on the outside stretch.
When you talk about the size, too, Quay Walker, 6'4", 241 pounds. Former first-round pick, number 22 overall back in 2022. Cardinals jumped again. This is going to push him back 5 yards.
I really enjoyed our conversation.
Ball start, number 47, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Really enjoyed our conversation with Raiders defensive coordinator Rob Leonard yesterday. I mean, he's a fun guy to be around. He's energetic. He's enthusiastic. I think he's very relatable if you're a player. But at the end of the day, he said, guys, it's really simple. It's about who could be the more physical team, who can dominate the line of scrimmage. I think this is an area of emphasis for the Raiders. Got to be able to stop the run. It was a real problem a season ago. They were 17th against the run.
On 2nd and 15, Brissett has some pressure rolled out. Got himself some space. It's a missed tackle inside the 10. Down to the 7-yard line. Kendrick Bourne in his 10th year out of Eastern Washington. Former Niner and Patriot. Last year was back in San Francisco for 1 season, and it's 3rd down and short.
He's worked his way up the profession. You look at that. I'm excited for him. He's done it the right way. He was in New York for 6 seasons before moving on to Miami, where he spent 3 seasons before going to work for Mike McDonald in Baltimore. 4 seasons with the Raiders. I think he's a great teacher and communicator.
Well, he told us yesterday he's been part of rebuilds. He's been part of teams. He knows what it looks like and what's worked, what doesn't.
Great coverage.
They're set to the end zone, into double coverage, touchdown! Marvin Harrison Jr. over the outstretched arms of Darian Porter. A 7-yard strike, and the Cardinals answer here in the first quarter.
Well, Porter was right there to make the play.
You just got to make the play.
I mean, that's really good coverage. It took a perfect throw and catch.
I mean, you talked about it, Rich. Just this whole entire group on the right side. See how they communicate? Everybody's got their man. But that's just a terrific throw from Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Porter tried to undercut it.
You got to stay on the top. I mean, you come to the sideline.
He's in great position.
Great position.
But turns around, he finds the ball. He just, man, it's another step.
Darian Porter, part of the competition, and that is missed by the kicker, Chad Ryland. There is a flag. It actually went through. It did not miss it. It went through, but there is a flag down.
It's going to be on the Raiders.
Yep.
Somebody jumped in the neutral zone.
So Scott Campbell is wearing the U as an umpire, but here in the preseason, some of the officials getting opportunities to wear the white hat. Part of the new emphasis to find those new officials here in the NFL. He is the umpire on the crew, but today he is the referee.
Offside. Defense. That penalty will be forced on the kickoff. The try is good. Timeout.
So a 10-play, 73-yard answer. Marvin Harrison in the end zone. Good offense here to start this ball game. Preseason week number 1 for the Raiders. Now the Raiders have a Super Bowl winning quarterback, Jim Plunkett, in the building, watching what they hope will also one day be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and Fernando Mendoza, who is about to make his NFL debut. Kirk Cousins got the start, led the Raiders on a touchdown drive But now the #1 overall pick is going to enter the game here on the Raiders' second drive as soon as they touch this football.
I imagine his heart rate is up right now, but you know, I can remember my first preseason game, and I just think you got to find a way to slow it down. I think it's all about completions. It's getting him off to a good start, gaining some confidence, just let this guy go out and have some fun.
Team had a practice here inside Allegiant Stadium. No pads on Tuesday night, but he said his heart rate was up just in that. You know, this moment's about to be a little bit different. Mike Washington Jr. on the kickoff return. And there's a flag thrown from the end zone. So you'll get that flag as Fernando Mendoza will push back a little bit, but here he comes. And here comes the crowd.
During the return, holding number 34, receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
Scott Campbell kind of drowned out the crowd a little bit there with the mic, but you get the idea. Now you walk over the Hacienda Bridge, you look around this stadium, a lot of number 15s. All over Allegiant Stadium. It's the second ever #1 pick in franchise history. With his first NFL snap here in preseason, and it's a handoff to Washington. It's a couple of yards. Jack Gibbons, the former Patriots linebacker, stood him up.
Well, you know this about him. He's a reliable decision maker. You study his career in college, especially those last couple of years at Indiana. Very good accuracy and anticipation. He had the highest under pressure success rate of any quarterback in the FBS last season. He's willing to sit in there and take a hit and throw the ball with great accuracy from the well.
Got an empty set here on 2nd down and 8.
Good job throwing it away.
Does throw that away. It's over the head. Devin Tompkins, the only receiver out there. Last year, first ever Heisman Trophy winner at Indiana. They led him to an undefeated season. And the iconic play in the national championship game, his team down, stretching it across the goal line, putting his body on the line. All of that excitement, but everything they've talked about here in the offseason is they knew his preparation. They knew that was special, and they have said that has been the case as he faces his first 3rd down here in the preseason. He fires. It's caught by Jack Best right at the marker. His second grab of the game, and it's a first down.
Great anticipation, Rich.
Yeah, you can just feel the arm talent. There's really not a place on the field that's a weakness for Fernando Mendoza. And what I like about, we talk about trust in the feet.
Yep.
There are not a lot of wasted motions here. The ball just takes the two quick hitches from the gun, and he throws the ball, gets it out accurately to Best on the boundary.
Both of Jack Best's catches have been on 3rd down, pick up a first down. And it's Washington. Picks up an extra yard or 2 after hit at the line.
Just remember the big thing about Fernando Mendoza is what? He didn't take snaps from under center at Indiana. And you've seen already this drive, he's got 2 snaps under center. He's got 2 snaps in shotgun. But I think it's second nature for him in shotgun. We saw it on 3rd down. It's a hitch, and that ball's out quickly. He's showing with each practice how much better he's getting at the under center, because we know what comes off of that in this Klint Kubiak offense.
Yeah,
it's the shots down the field.
Only 3% of his snaps came from under center last season. But as you said, he's spent a lot of time this spring working from under center.
Under center here on this 2nd down.
Good job checking it down.
Washington Jr. made the catch. There was a flag thrown from the backfield. It's going to bring the Raiders back.
Good example, though, of him working through his progressions. At a corner,
Holding.
flat.
Number 60, offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 2nd down.
See how he works back, though. And he brings out the fake. Just watch the fake, though, because this is where he's gotten so much better. See that fake?
You know, watch his eyes, and then it's not there, and he comes right back inside. I always say you never go broke taking a profit. We're seeing really good footwork from him. As I said, really good decision making.
Well, and the Raiders starting offense not on the field. It's not just Kirk Cousins. The rest of the starters on the sideline too. Cardinals are still playing with their starting defense. Washington cannot hang on. Big time hit made by the corner, Denzel Burke. And it'll be 3rd down and long.
Yeah, that's one that Fernando he'll learn in this league. That you've got a cover 2 cornerback sitting outside. He has no work out there, so he's looking for that type of play. See the 2 safeties? That's a cover 2 look. He's got to know that corner's sitting right there who can come back and rob that play.
You got to be able to protect, whether it's a tight end or a running back. As you said, you got to see that flat defender.
And Laube, the running back, in the backfield with Mendoza.
Got to be smart here. Greener draw.
Give it to Laube, trying to foul a couple of blockers. Picks up about 8 yards back to the original line of scrimmage. Cody Simon in on the stop, and the Raiders will punt it away.
And overcome the penalties.
Well, a question everyone asks, Rich, all week here in the, what do you want to see from your #1 overall pick in the preseason? Holding penalties and all that stuff put him a little bit behind there.
Yeah, I think you look at the mechanics. I think you want to see him, play from under center. I think want to see the production in the offense, make good decisions, and I just think move the football team. That's what he's being paid to do.
A.J. Cole booms a 60-yard kick. Devin Duvernay on the return. That is solid coverage by a rookie, Dalton Johnson. Getting down there, the 5th-round pick out of Arizona, Drayton Stukes' teammate. See Mendoza again. He's going to get plenty of work today. We're tied at 7 late in the first quarter. Now 1st downs for the hometown. American First Credit Union will donate $100 to a local charity for every Raiders 1st down inside Allegiant Stadium this season. Now both teams sent their starting quarterback and the starting offense out for 1 drive. They both scored touchdowns. Fernando Mendoza, now the former Raiders, number 15, Gardner Minshew, who last year spent season in Kansas City, started 1 game, got hurt, and now in Arizona. And Minshew, part of the last 3 years, 7 different starting quarterbacks for the Raiders over the last 3 years after the departure of Derek Carr.
That's why we went out and got Fernando Mendoza. We need production, consistency, and really some stability at that most critical position. If you just look at our division, guys, you've got Bo Nix in Denver. Yep. You've got Justin Herbert in Los Angeles, and you got a pretty good player in Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. If we don't have a flamethrower that can go toe-to-toe with those players, it's always going to be an uphill battle. We've got a veteran quarterback that's been in a lot of fist fights in Kirk Cousins, and a good young quarterback that I think is going to be a terrific player for a long, long time in this league.
Now Minshew took that 1 snap, and they will trot down to the other end of the field for a 2nd down. First quarter in the books. Rob Leonard, Klint Kubiak, Max Crosby, all just watching on the sideline here. It is week 1 in Allegiant Stadium, all with the eyes towards the regular season 1 month from now. Now Raiders 4th-round pick, Jermod McCoy, is on the field to start this 2nd quarter. His first game since the college football playoff 2 years ago when Tennessee lost to Ohio State. It's a Minshew dump down. Cody Lindenberg wraps up Jeremiyah Love. But Jermod McCoy, really one of the big stories of the NFL draft. Most thought 1st-round talent, knee issue, some concern there long-term. Raiders traded up 1 spot in the 4th round to take him on day 3, and they've worked him along, and everyone's really excited to see what he can do.
And they've been managing him all offseason. And even during training camp, you mentioned it, has not played in a game since December of 2024, almost 2 calendar years. So he's excited to be out there for sure, number 28 in black.
He said today would be emotional. Missed all of last year at Tennessee. Gardner Minshew has a 1st down, worked the other corner, and the other rookie corner, Hezekiah Massis, 5th-round pick out of Cal. Jalen Brooks, who had a big game last week in Canton. It's a 1st down for Arizona.
Yeah, Massis, number 35. I said he's been unafraid. That's what he's shown so far during training camp. And he's flirted with the ones, rotating in and out. But he's a young player who has got a ton of ball skills. Led the nation, actually, last year in passes defense. So he's going to get his hands on some footballs.
Got 3 rookies in that secondary right now. It's kind of fun to watch. Stukes playing the safety position as well.
Drayton Stukes, the 2nd-round pick out of Arizona. It's Jeremiyah Love again. And Jackson held on to his jersey, his teammates, after a couple of yards. To your point, man, that is a big part of this. Kirk, you mentioned this to start the broadcast. Yes, Fernando Mendoza, the headliner, and obviously that's going to get the attention. But a 10-player rookie class and very heavy early in the draft on the defense.
Yeah, but the secondary, right? It's been the secondary players, and I'm looking at guys who can cover, that are versatile defenders. But then also, too, it gives you the opportunity to go with the 4-man rush because they feel like, hey, we can cover because we got the guys up front that can go get the quarterback.
Guys that could also play on special teams as well.
It's the former Notre Dame running back again getting the tote. And he drags Jackson out near the first down. Looks like he's got enough. A late flag came in. That way after the play. Now the Raiders have had 3 flags, 1 on offense, 1 on defense, 1 on special teams so far in this ball game.
Personal foul, number 44, defense. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run, automatic. First down.
Tommy Eichenberg in his 3rd year out of Ohio State, the former 5th-round pick, coming in late.
Yeah, I didn't see. Was that late?
I don't know, but oh, that's the one.
No, he's going after the football.
You got to try to punch the ball out. Got to be smart. The hit didn't look bad. It was the punch.
Man, we talked about Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean. You know what the middle of this defense looks like from the starters. There's certainly a battle for the guys behind them. Cody Lindenberg last year, 7th-round pick. Tommy Eichenberg year before that. Both those guys in the middle of this defense here on this second drive for Arizona in a 7-7 preseason game. Right up the middle, right into the arms of the defense for the silver and black. Cody Lindenberg, you know, Nakobe Dean missed some time in minicamp back in June. Lindenberg was running with the ones. He did not get a single defensive snap last year in the regular season.
Yeah, but he's got a lot so far in training camp, and he's showing if he's got an opportunity, watch him right here get skinny. He's going to get right here. Watch, we call it get skinny. When you got 2 guys trying to block you, see how he skips right through there and go makes the play?
What's that B gap?
That's how you do it. It's what you do with your opportunities. And Cody Lindenberg, one of those guys, captains on the special teams, now doing it on defense.
Raiders come with a blitz. Minshew to the outside. It's caught in front of Eichenberg. McCoy finishes off the tackle. Jalen Brooks. He's got enough for the first down. So the Cardinals on the move here again. Now Gardner Minshew, well-traveled in his 8th year out of Washington State. 6th-round pick of the Jaguars back in 2019. A couple of really successful years. One with Jacksonville, one with Indianapolis. Last year when Patrick Mahomes got hurt, he played in Tennessee. It was towards the end of the season, week 16. And then he fractured his tibia on his only start. And he's in a battle, too, with Carson Beck for the backup spot with the Arizona Cardinals. Handoff to Algier, trying to pick his way. Hezekiah Massis came in to make the stop. Pick up about 5 yards on first down.
Yeah, a little too much movement by this offensive line on this Raiders defensive front. And you've got a running back in Algier who's able to pick and choose where he wants to go. But that's a big sign right there, number 35 coming in and making the play. Because Hezekiah Massis, everyone said that he's too small. He's not a tackler. He's not a physical player. Well, number 35 coming in, putting some shoulder pad on Algier. I like that for the young rookie.
He's only 179 pounds, 6 foot. His rookie year out of Cal. Minshew rolling out. Brooks all alone. Solid tackle in open space. Greedy Vance. He's also not big. 5'10", 168, but he brought down Jalen Brooks in open space.
Nice job of recovering. That's what he did. He saw the play. That ball was thrown. And just watch the patience. See, he comes back, flips around, and watch that outside. See, you're taught to go after the outside knee, the outside leg. That's how you get the tackle. That's a nice open field play by Greedy Vance.
We're on the sidelines. Cardinals here tonight, 3 for 3 on third down. This 3rd down and 2 on the Raiders' 20-yard line. And a timeout taken, Las Vegas. Klint Kubiak, first-year head coach, taking that first timeout.
Las Vegas, their first and a half. 30 seconds.
5 minutes gone by here in the second. We'll keep it right here. 10 new coaches this year in the NFL. 2 of them here on display. 6 of them making their first ever times leading different teams. Mike LaFleur, one of those.
Well, you think about new head coaches, you think about new play callers. You've got about 30 new coordinators. I think you got 14 new defensive coordinators. I think 16 new play callers on the offensive side of the ball. We talk about the one constant in our profession is change. You have to be able to adapt. That's why the offseason program is so important. You look at Klint Kubiak, the relationships that he has. He's brought in a lot of veteran coaches. Mike Sullivan, Rick Dennison, Joe Woods. Guys that have been around the block.
Guys that have been part of Super Bowls as well. On third down, into the backfield. Love breaks a tackle. First down, Arizona. And the number 3 overall pick picks up 11 yards. Kieran Crawford got back there, and the third-round pick out of Auburn couldn't make the tackle.
Yeah, that's just a special running back. If you give him that angle, he's going to take that every single time.
Yeah, well, they get outflanked here on the corner.
For sure, the outflank.
You get a double team. You get someone running up through the C gap.
But that's the Notre Dame highlight reel we saw from Jeremiyah Love all last season. That particular play, racing to the outside. If there's no edge, you have no chance in tackling Jeremiyah Love.
Jeremiyah Love, 21 total touchdowns last year for Notre Dame. A new record for the school from South Bend. Minshew to the end zone. Simi Fehoko, touchdown. He had 1 catch last week. It was in the end zone. He's got 1 here, and touchdowns for Fehoko and back-to-back weeks for the Cardinals.
Yeah, this is on the rookie, Jeremiah McCoy. We're just talking about him. You get down here near the goal line, you've got to be able to be more physical, and watch Fehoko. He's the guy that was the more physical player at the end. It was a little bit of a push-off at the end. Well, here we got right here. See, watch the push-off by Fehoko. Just extends that left arm. All he needs is a little bit of space, high points the football, and gets the touchdown.
6'4", get your hands up in the air. Ryland clanked it off the upright, went through on the last extra point. This one now drifts the other way, but it sails through the uprights. And Arizona, 2 drives here inside Allegiant Stadium, both in the end zone. They are continuing their offensive role that they put on display last week in Canton, Ohio. We'll see Fernando Mendoza coming back out. Well, tonight's thrilling moment is brought to you by Yamava. When it comes to world-class hospitality and entertainment, one name stands above the rest. Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Voted #1 casino outside of Vegas by Newsweek. Go back now 24 years, week 12. Part of Rich Gannon's MVP season en route to making it to the Super Bowl. There's a lot of good-looking balls there, Rich. A lot of nice spirals against the Cardinals.
Well, it's pretty easy when you got Jerry Porter, Tim Brown, and Jerry Rice to throw to. And a pretty good offensive line. I got to give a shout out to my guy, Lincoln Kennedy. Get up, Jerry. You know, people don't remember. In 2000, we led the National Football League in rushing. In 2002, we led the National Football League in passing. You don't do that without a great offensive line.
Yeah, do it differently, right? In 2000, the AFC Championship
shows you a
game.
little bit of the versatility, and that's really what we're trying to get here now. A good offensive line that we can rely on. We've got the running back. We've got some tight ends. And we're trying to develop a young quarterback. And the way you do that is you surround them with really talented players, especially up front.
Kick off to Malik Benson, the rookie out of Oregon. His first chance in the silver and black to touch the football, and he is upended. Carson Shire, the rookie linebacker out of Iowa, with a violent hit. It'll be 1st and 10. We talked a lot in camp. Malik Benson certainly has had his presence felt. Solid hit in his first touch of the NFL.
Be careful leaving your feet. It's a dangerous thing to do.
It's a different kickoff in the NFL, right? In college football, still the old traditional, kicking it off from 35, a little bit different. When you come to the NFL, the guys are already there. He's learning on the job.
Now, Mendoza was 1 for 3, 9-yard completion to Jack Besh on his first drive. Raiders offense was pushed back on a penalty against Charles Grant, the left tackle. It's a play fake on first down. Down the field. What a strike to Benson. Oh, man, did he thread that between 3 defenders.
Laser. Saw that, Rich.
Really,
that's a laser.
I'll tell you what, it's a tight window as well. But if you look at the good fake off of play action, it's going to head right downhill. He's going to get right back here. And he's very deliberate. It's a great job holding the linebacker. Look at him puncture that ball between the linebackers and safety. That's a great throw by the rookie quarterback.
Well, he's doing it again with a play fake, escaping the pocket. There is a flag thrown, both the backfield and in the secondary, and he throws it away with Cody Simon in his face.
Holding.
Some of the Cardinals' defensive starters are still in this ball game here in the second quarter. They might be holding both sides.
Yeah.
There was a flag deep in the secondary down the field.
You got one in the backfield as well.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Illegal contact, defense, number 29. Personal foul, tripping, number 58. Offense, those fouls will offset. Replay, first down.
58 Jackson Powers Johnson. Start tonight at right guard, still playing here with the rest of this offensive line. He and Caleb Rogers have really been rotating at right guard throughout camp. He's got Trey Zune, the third-round pick, in at right tackle. He has been playing lately here in camp. So it is 1st and 10 again. It is Mike Washington Jr. getting to the outside, and another flag flies in from the secondary. You saw the burst, you see the size, but we'll see what the penalty is.
I like this young back. Spent 3 seasons at the University of Buffalo before transferring to New Mexico State in 2024, then to Arkansas. Big physical back.
Holding, number 85. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Now that is Albert Okwuegbunam out on the outside, and he just got, both hands on Max Melton.
Yeah, he's got him right there. But Mike Washington, again, when he gets those shoulders square, and you see he's running the daylight. Nice job of setting up the block. And I think Okwuegbunam expected him to go inside rather than go to the outside. You ran this stretch zone before, Rich. You know that ball's supposed to stay inside. But when you get out there in no man's land, it's kind of difficult for an offensive player to block the guy.
Well, that's 5 penalties on the Raiders here in about a quarter and a half of football. It is a straight I formation for Washington to run behind. And he's into daylight. He gets a block. Mike Washington Jr. all the way down to the 12-yard line. He rips off a 56-yard run, and the block by Connor Hayward sprung him.
You're going to see the lead block, and then just watch the explosiveness once he gets through the line of scrimmage and once he gets up on the second level. Great quickness, great elusive, great stiff arm. He can be violent on those inside runs, excellent speed and big play potential when you get him in space.
Again, what do I say? See how his shoulders are always square. And so the defenders kind of bounce off because of his shoulder square. He never leans or tells you where he's going. And then when he finds daylight, it's good night.
Officially a 53-yarder. For the rookie out of Arkansas. And you had everyone move, and Jordan Meredith never snapped the football. All right, Rich, when that happens, who got it wrong?
A good chance it was the center's fault. Just going to throw that out there. Can't have, we talk about the rules of the red zone.
False start. Everyone but the center.
There you go.
Offense, 5-yard penalty or first down.
Appreciate Scott Campbell's humor.
There's got to be a sense of urgency when you get down inside the 20. And we talk about it all the time. You can't have penalties, you can't have sacks, and you can't have turnovers. You got to be disciplined in this part of the field. This is an area, we talk about an area of improvement, an area of emphasis this offseason has been situational football, particularly in this part of the field. Last couple of years, the Raiders settled for way too many field goals down here in the red zone.
Jordan Meredith did start 11 games last year, 9 of them at center, 2 at guard. Battling for the backup center spot behind Linderbaum. So 1st and 15, back shoulder throw, and it is broken up on the outside. Denzel Burke fighting with Benson. Now, crowd wants pass interference on the second-year pro out of Ohio State. They didn't get it.
Yeah, I would have loved to because his left hand was draped all over Malik Benson. Watch the left hand of Burke. It's right there. And see how he pulls down? He restricts the wide receiver from making a play. That is pass interference.
Wow.
Well, remember, replay assist, right, introduced last year, can take away flags that are obvious, but they cannot add flags. But that clearly was pass interference on the Cardinals. So instead, it's 2nd down and 15. Mendoza in the pocket again. He takes off with his legs. Mendoza takes a couple of hits, bounces off a couple of defenders. Picked up about 7 yards. Walter Nolan, last year's first-round pick for the Cardinals, made the stop. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, the thing I like about Mendoza is he's got some size. He's almost 6'5". He's 235 pounds. And when he pulls it down, he can pick up a few first downs. Got to learn to protect himself, though.
Well, he did run for 276 yards last year for Kurt Cignetti and the Hoosiers. 7 touchdowns, none more famous than the one to beat Miami in the national championship game. Washington back in the game. Mendoza back to the air. Inside the 5. Benson has it. He's wrapped up by Melton. Question is, did he reach the marker? It looks like he's just shy, and the Raiders are going to keep the offense on the field here on 4th down.
Great anticipatory throw from Fernando. Gave him an opportunity. See the opportunity to turn it up and get the first, but this is great work right here. A 4th down opportunity for the offense. This is where the Raiders struggled last year in this 4th and 3rd down short yardage situation. See what Klint Kubiak dials up.
Washington back in there.
They got the fullback Hayward back in there as well. Need less than a yard. Play clock down to 3. Mendoza turns. Washington lowers the shoulder. He's got the first down. Washington Jr. got them into the red zone with the 53-yard run, and he keeps the drive going.
Yeah, nice little block by Antonio Mafi. He was playing the left guard position. He comes around, and a nice job of staying patient was Mike Washington to get the tough yard for a first down.
You know what this is a good reminder of?
What's that?
It's fun to be back, guys.
It is. I'm talking football, by the way.
It's 7 months since the Raiders lined up and beat the Chiefs here in Week 18 on a 60-yard field goal. A lot of things different, but wanting to get in the end zone, that's not different. Mendoza pumping, pressure, in trouble, and he's sacked. Walter Nolan back at the 11-yard line. It's a loss of 7.
At what point do you throw that away, Rich?
You know, you like to have that one back. He starts, if you watch his eyes, he's going to start to his right. Not there. He's working back to his left, and at that point, it just closes in on you. You see some man-to-man coverage. Really nowhere to throw it.
They got a little more space here. Now with 2nd and goal back at the 12. Mendoza to throw again. Scanning the secondary. He's got Ian Thomas trying to spin out of a tackle. And the veteran tight end in his 9th year, also a Hoosier alum. And bring up 3rd down and goal from the 6.
The thing I like about him is he looks comfortable in a congested, muddy pocket. There's no panic. If you just watch his feet, he's just going through his progressions. He's in rhythm. And he's working the entire field. It's late to come back to Thomas, but puts it in a good spot.
On Murphy bunting, the veteran corner, made the stop. Here's 3rd and goal. They put it in the end zone. Try and tie up this game. Mendoza, quick throw. Whoa! It's caught! The Mandalorian with his first Raider touchdown, and it goes to Jack Bess. Rich, he put that in the perfect spot over the middle.
Yeah, really nice.
Yep.
He gets it up and down really quick. And watch how low this ball is. He protects the receiver low and away. Really nice job with ball location by Mendoza.
They just give you 4 verts up the field. And Fernando actually threw that one like a hot route, as if he was expecting pressure. That's why the ball was where it is. But it was all about the ball placement by Fernando Mendoza.
Now Raiders fans hoping to see this a lot over the next, well, you decide how many years. Mendoza puts it in the end zone, celebrates with his team. Now Fernando Mendoza flew the Raiders down the field. Drive brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. 9 plays, 79 yards. Touchdown pass to Jack Bess. A couple of really nice throws, Rich, on that drive.
Yeah, in the pocket, out of rhythm, working through his progressions. You know, spreading the ball around the tight end, the back, the receivers.
But they did what you were asking. You remember what you asked earlier? They got to run the football. That big 53-yarder by Mike Washington.
That sets it all up.
And you see the confidence from Fernando right after that play.
3rd year, the dynamic kickoff in the NFL. Devin Duvernay on the receiving end for the Cardinals. Out across the 20, and solid coverage by the Raiders to get down there. It's a 22-yard return. Patrick Johnson was the first down there. But now you got to see the Raiders. Gardner Minshew led a touchdown drive after Jacoby Brissett opened this game with a 10-play touchdown drive. Raiders need to see a little bit more here from the defense.
Yeah, to me, it's just really the corners on the outside. They got to get a little more physical. Because right now they're playing off, and then sometimes they're playing on, but they're not staying on top of their coverage. And that's where Gardner Minshew so far has found a couple of open guys and extended drives.
How about that? Devin Duvernay getting his shoes tied by Gardner Minshew. Rich, whose shoes did you tie 20 years ago? Anybody?
I would have tied the offensive lineman's shoes. I would have done that for nothing.
You never tied Tim Brown's shoes?
He never asked me. His shoelaces never came untied.
True.
Love into the hole. Remember, the Cardinals last week played in the Hall of Fame game against Carolina, so they are one of the 2 teams this year having 4 preseason games. Starters did not play last week. Did open this game. Jeremiyah Love getting extensive work here in this first half.
Yeah,
for new head coach Mike LaFleur.
A bit surprising to me. I think this is my, the 3rd overall pick in the draft. I think I've seen enough. He's shown already he can make some plays. I'd park him right next to me on the sideline if I'm Mike LaFleur.
It's back-to-back handoffs. Oh, he shows the burst, too. Well, he saw the 53-yard run by Mike Washington. Massis combines on the tackle for the Raiders.
Yep, I'm putting him in bubble wrap and see you September 13th. He's a special back.
He's going to be a fun back to watch.
Very special. And it all started really with Ashton Genty the year before. Ashton goes 6, and everybody said, how do you take a running back that high? And then
look at that cut.
There goes Jeremiyah Love, who gets taken number 3 overall this year. So, to me, we see the importance in that running back. You see what the price now is for a running back in the National Football League. Jameer Gibbs got the big contract. Obviously, Bijan Robinson. They're paying running backs now, Rich, by the way.
About time.
And obviously, Saquon Barkley a couple years ago with the 2,000-yard season. We're at the 2-minute warning. Solid offense. Now, last week, Cardinals-Panthers, as Mike Tirico described, one of the most entertaining offensive preseason games maybe ever. We're seeing that continuation here in this ball game. First for the Raiders, second for Arizona. But both offenses have clicked at a high level here in the first half. Fresh set of downs for the Cardinals coming out of the 2-minute warning. Back to Jeremiyah Love, and he hops a defender. Oh, man, has he been impressive here in the first half. Jeremiyah Love up to 58 yards here in this opening half for Arizona.
Yep, you got to get off blocks. If you don't do that, Jeremiyah Love is going to hurt you. You see the explosion and the speed through the hole, but nobody's getting off blocks. See, everybody's blocked. You got to get off blocks and make plays when it comes to tackling Jeremiyah Love.
Gets it again. Stunner's in the backfield, and he is crunched. Maybe a yard. Patrick Johnson, who the Raiders signed at the start of camp in his 6th year out of Tulane, came up to make the hit.
Got to be able to get off blocks. You've been saying it. Look at this defense. They were on the field a lot last season. The offense was dead last in time of possession. Raiders have to play complementary football this year.
Minshew underneath, drops it to the tight end. That's Quitoriano, Tegan Quitoriano. And it'll be 3rd down and a timeout taken. Arizona with 59 seconds. Excuse me, Las Vegas taking the timeout.
Las Vegas, their second of the half. Please put 1 minute, 1 second on the game clock.
Well, the Raiders take this timeout. You think about the 2. Hey, if you get off the field, you get good work for Fernando Mendoza. Maybe with 50 seconds left. Can the defense get off the field and give him that chance for Klint Kubiak? Now, Klint Kubiak making his head coaching debut. 39-year-old offensive coordinator of last year's Super Bowl winner. He is right next to Mike McCoy. Last year was the interim head coach for the Tennessee Titans. Former head coach in this league. Long time. They've had a relationship. But Klint Kubiak recognized, hey, we've got good work opportunity here in preseason. You got a minute, you get a stop, you get a chance for your rookie quarterback to have late work in an end-of-half situation. But the defense has got to get a stop. Cardinals perfect on 3rd down, and they still are. Brooks beat Massis on an inside slant down to the 25. And Arizona converts another 3rd down. They are 5 for 5.
This time, Massis is playing off. So I'm a little bit surprised he's playing off 3rd and 5, and would love to see him going up there and jamming at the line of scrimmage.
That's too easy.
Back to the air. Inside of the 15-yard line. Back to Jalen Brooks. Now, Arizona's quarterbacks have not had an incompletion yet. They are 13 of 13. They take their first time out of the half. We'll take it with them. Mike LaFleur's offense has been impressive both games of the preseason. Now 33 seconds left here in the half. Arizona's offense, 186 yards. Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, 13 of 13 against this Raiders defense. That is 2nd-round pick, Traden Stukes, number 38 overall out of Arizona. Very versatile player. Had a big-time camp. Talked to Rob Leonard about him a lot yesterday. His defense, particularly the secondaries, struggled a little bit here in the first half. Fresh set it down for Minshew in the red zone. Dumps it short, Love, and he's wrapped up by Eichenberg. He picks up 7 yards, and another timeout taken by Arizona with 27 seconds left in the half.
Timeout, Arizona. Second of the half, 30 seconds.
And we'll keep it right here.
See, both first-time head coaches didn't give up the play calling responsibilities.
And you were
Listen,
saying that you like that.
Well, you know, look, it's what got you the job in the first place. And now all of a sudden you become a head coach and you hand it over to somebody maybe doesn't have the experience or isn't as good at it. You know, and I just think it's a huge mistake. You can control the pace and the flow of the game by being the play caller. And I think it's great that Klint chose to do that, as well as Mike LaFleur.
Bam Knight checks into the backfield for the Cardinals on second down. He gets the handoff. Gets through that first tackle. He does not have the first down. They'll mark him shy. And LaFleur will take his final timeout of the half with about 20 seconds to go.
Timeout, Arizona. Last of the half, 30 seconds in length.
Yeah, watch the left side of the screen. Eichenberg coming off. He's an off-ball linebacker at that time. He was on the ball and got there just enough time to have him short of the first down.
But, you know, in preseason, and every coach will tell you, hey, it's going to be vanilla. We just want to see, how do we tackle?
Correct.
How do we line, you know, all those communication things. Can we get a stop? Can someone make a play? All those things. This is a perfect opportunity.
Well, it's also unique, too, that the Raiders are going to play these two teams in the regular season as well in the preseason. That's the Cardinals and also the San Francisco 49ers. So how much do you want to show in the preseason as well, knowing they're your regular season opponents?
And next week with Houston in between, and now Las Vegas takes its final time out of the half. And the third down and short coming up here.
Timeout, Las Vegas. That's the last of the half. 30 seconds.
It's just been the tackling today. And it's the first opportunity they've had live going down to the ground. And we've seen some guys who've been a little bit better at it than others. The veteran players, Taron Johnson, Quay Walker. You see the young masses coming in. I've been impressed with a lot of the tackles that they've made. I think the big part in this first half is just the coverage. You got to get a little stickier. Got to get a little more on top. But I've been impressed with the tackling so far.
Saw Quay Walker and the starters on defense for Rob Leonard, the new defensive coordinator for the opening drive.
Keep it at the top of your screen.
Both teams out of timeouts. They're going right there. Back shoulder. Touchdown. Jalen Brooks was big on the drive. A 6-yard score. Almost similar to the touchdown in the last drive to Fehoko. And Arizona, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns here in their second preseason game.
Take me in the mind of a quarterback. Why circle him? Why is that the guy to throw to, Rich?
Well, no one's been able to cover him so far, and you like the matchup on a rookie corner.
He's been there a couple of plays.
He's in position, you know.
He's in position, but that's 2 touchdowns he's given up today.
Look, in the NFL, it's you got guys with size. You got, you know, you're gonna get a good throw. These guys use their body to extend.
Again, we got to remember, this is his first football game in almost 2 years.
I know.
So I'm going to give Jeremiah McCoy a little bit of a break here, but you're going to get opportunity in football in 2 years. Yeah, you're going to get tested.
Gardner Minshew doesn't care. No. You know, the Cardinals don't care. They're going to, if they find an opportunity, if they feel that there's a weakness, they're going to go after the rookie.
And if you're Gardner Minshew, think about this. You didn't play last week.
Right. No.
You watched Carson Beck, third-round pick out of Miami by way of Georgia, and Keaton Slovis just light up Carolina. Everyone for a week, because that was the only football game that's been played, has been, is Carson Beck going to be the... Jacoby Brissett comes out. He's perfect. Touchdown drive. And now Minshew with 2 touchdowns.
We always talk about it as quarterbacks. We talk about situational awareness. We talk about personnel, being aware of who's on the field. Is it regular? Is it nickel? Is it dime? Who's covering on the right side? Is it a rookie? Is it a veteran player? Obviously, at this point in the game, in the preseason, you can have a lot of young players out there. And Gardner Minshew took advantage of the opportunity.
Let's see if we can get a decent kickoff return here with 17 seconds. Raiders are out of timeout, so have to do that to give Mendoza a chance here in the final 17 seconds of the half. Chad Ryland's just going to boot this all the way through the end zone. Now remember, touchbacks, if you boot it in the air with this new year of the NFL kick, the third year, it's all the way out to the 35-yard line. See if Klint Kubiak lets Fernando try and take a couple shots to the sideline.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, right, from the 35. There you go. Line it up, put it on 35. There you go. Hey, got a couple seconds. What are you thinking right here, Rich? I know on defense, you're saying, hey, guard the sideline. We can't have the big play, but offensively, you can get a big play and try to clock it and try to get the big field goal.
You know, that throw that he had earlier in the last possession where he punctured the ball down the middle of the field. But you like to use the boundary, right? Like a deep bench route. But they're just going to run out the clock.
So Mendoza takes a knee, got a couple of drives here in the first half. The second, very impressive. He punctured that in the end zone on a touchdown to Jack Bass, who had a solid first half in year number 2. It is the Raiders, though, heading into the locker room down a touchdown here. Kirk Cousins started the game, had a touchdown drive as well. We're getting Klint Kubiak here on the headset. And the head coach got the headset on. Rich, go ahead. Klint Kubiak downstairs.
Coach, just your thoughts on both quarterbacks putting together some really good-looking drives there in the first half.
Yeah, we're on point. Did some good stuff. Way too many dang penalties. Got to get some more stops. Not good enough.
Coach, what do you want to see more from the young corners that are out there competing?
I want to see us get a dang stop on defense. I want to see us score some points offensively. We got a lot of work to do.
All right, we'll see. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Kubiak, one half in the books. This is his first game as the head coach of the Silver and Black. In our halftime coaches interview brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders. No, his defense did not get a stop. Cardinals 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. Raiders scored on 2 of their 3 drives. The overall #1 pick. They're a touchdown to Jack Fish here in the first half. The Raiders, though, down 7 as we go to half here inside Allegiant Stadium. Set for the start of the third quarter here in Las Vegas. 21-14. Arizona has the lead here on the Raiders. Very impressive offensive performance as we fly you in here into the booth.
I love it.
Inside of Allegiant Stadium, world-class facility. Super Bowl has been here. We're going to get another one here in a couple of years. Final 4 coming up here in Allegiant in a couple of years as well. And hopefully a lot of wins with Fernando Mendoza and company in the future as well. Takeaways from this first half here, Rich, on this for both teams here in the offense.
Well, let's start with the Raiders offense. I thought they looked real sharp. Both quarterbacks looked good. They went through their progressions. They moved the team. They scored points. They threw a touchdown each of them. So I thought that was a real good positive start. Just a clean performance offensively.
Yeah, I think on the opposite side, the defense, they didn't get off the field, right? It was 6 for 6 on third down with the Arizona Cardinals. And more importantly, as a team, the 7 penalties. I don't know if Klint Kubiak's really excited about his team committing 7 penalties in the first half. That's something they got to clean up in the second.
Yeah, in the run defense, Jeremiyah Love, he averaged almost 5.5 yards a carry.
Yep.
Kirk, that's not going to get it done.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done, too. Matsuzawa with the kick out of bounds.
Yeah, Kansei Matsuzawa, who is trying to become the first ever Japanese-born player.
Landing zone violation, kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. First down.
Yeah, let's finish
Arizona.
that. There has never been a Japanese-born player to ever make a 53-man roster. There have been some on training camps, practice squads, but the Lou Groza Award winner.
He's got a nickname, right?
Yeah, the Tokyo Cho, who never touched a football until he was 19 and loved it when he came and watched a Raiders game and then learned how to kick on YouTube. But he was fantastic the last couple of years at Hawaii. Been in the battle with Matt Gay. That, though, his first NFL kickoff didn't get to the landing zone. Remember, this is the 3rd year of the dynamic kickoff. You don't get it to the 20-yard line. It comes all the way out to the 40, just like if it went out of bounds. Gardner Minshew stays on for the 3rd drive. He was perfect in the first half. Still has not incompleted a pass. Solid tackle, though. Greedy Vance has made a couple of those. And Gardner Minshew now 11 of 11 for 82 yards here in this ballgame.
Yeah, Greedy Vance is putting himself in that conversation for how many cornerbacks do the Raiders keep. He's a guy who can play nickel. He can play outside. And we start to look at this roster. You're trying to say, how many cornerbacks will the Raiders keep? It's going to be a difficult decision for John Spytek.
He's about 170 pounds. The tight end, Rivaldo Fairweather, has about 70 pounds on him, and he brought him down in open space. Klint Kubiak was pretty direct with us right before halftime. Gosh, can we get a stop? Well, the answer is no on that. Bam Knight into the secondary, trading Stukes after a 12-yard run. We saw a lot of Jeremiyah Love in the first half. 3rd overall pick, 58 yards on 11 carries.
You know, you start to get into this third quarter, you get a lot of guys who getting their first action on the NFL and got to get off blocks. Kean Sloan was the defensive end over there. Got taken by 2 guys, and now you got to go out, and if you're not in your gap, you have to find a way to funnel the football. That was a good tackle by Trayton Stukes.
You changed the play at the line to a run play to Bam Knight. J.J. Pegues right down the line of scrimmage, the second-year pro out of Ole Miss. He shed some weight in the offseason and a solid tackle.
Nice job of playing down the line of scrimmage, keeping his eyes up and playing off the offensive lineman. Watch how he stays square. He's on the left side of the screen, and he just stays square. So he stays square, and then go finish. It's a nice job by 92, J.J. Pegues.
Kirk, you brought up the point here to start this third quarter. Again, Raiders have 3 preseason games, and particularly in the second half. These are the players who are trying to make the roster at the end of the 53. Who's going to make plays here? Minshew with a pump fake downfield, and that is the first incompletion of the game by the Cardinals. Brissett and Minshew started 16 of 16, but that one just too far in front of the receiver.
And sometimes you get guys who are a little over anxious. These rookies coming in there trying to make a play. That time, Kieran Crawford, he's the defensive end on the outside. He's crashing down on the run. He's trying to stop that run, Rich. And then Minshew pulls it out and had an easy throw, but they sailed out of bounds.
And Jacoby Brissett, jerseys off, hoodies on. Kirk thought about changing polos here at halftime. He didn't. They get to make a wardrobe change. I think we should, no? On third down, Smith-Marset, it is short of the marker. Ricky Vance was there, a short throw. We'll see if Mike LaFleur is going to keep the offense out here on fourth down.
Yeah, he's going for it. He's already on the play sheet. See, he's already looking for his play. So they get to that play sheet, Rich, and they go to short yardage calls. And he's already trying to find the best one. You don't get this type of work in practice, you know, where you get tackled full to the ground. And that's why you're going to go for this opportunity here for the Cardinals.
There's a certain comfort level. You got a veteran quarterback out there that can help the young players get them lined up. Great communicator. We'll find you a completion.
It is 4th and 2. Minshew back to the air. Tight coverage. Fehoko made the grab, and it is a first down. He is a lot larger than Massis, and he used his arms, his whole body to box out, and he picked up just enough.
But I would love to see, when did he really gain possession? See, I think he catches the football by the time he brings that ball all the way in. I think he may have been short of the first down.
A challenge flag, no replay assist. Minshew on the pump fake and on the rollout. And he got away the first time, tried to shovel it out of bounds, and they will say that is incomplete. Patrick Johnson gave pressure, and Minshew did get the ball out of his hands with a shovel pass that did go forward. It's an incomplete.
That was a bad rep for Minshew. As you see,
an Arizona offensive lineman down on the field.
I hate to see him grabbing the knee. But Minshew has a history of leaving the pocket.
On the field is an incomplete pass. Timeout.
Minshew has a history of leaving the pocket before he has to. And he just, for some reason, moved to his right way before he had to.
That injured Cardinal is their second-round pick, Chase Besantis. He is down on the ground. So they attend to him. At the second down, we'll take a timeout. Now located at the 50-yard line, the 14,000 square foot
on the field
Credit
is an
One
incomplete
Club.
pass.
As you hear that, that's
grounding,
two field level
15,
clubs with the premium club seating
offense.
space.
It'll be 10 yards from the previous spot. Lost it down. Third down.
All right, so you heard that. There is intentional grounding on the
second down.
Gardner Minshew pass. Hey, it's luxurious. You hear everything. It's here inside Allegiant Stadium. Private lounge, VIP entry, direct access to the field. You got all-inclusive food, beverage service, so much more. Club is available for game days and all other major stadium events. Doesn't Scott Campbell know we want to talk about VIP lounges?
That's how we roll.
That's how we do it right now.
It's the best place in the country to go get VIP lounges. Minshew, after the intentional grounding, back to the air. Fehoko, and he tiptoed inbounds in front of McCoy. And again, these rookie corners, Kirk, struggling a little bit on the outside.
Well, they're struggling at the top of the route. So watch at the top of the route. See, right now he's in good position. But see, at the top of the route,
there's
separation at these wide receivers. And Fajoko's a veteran. He's not a rookie. But they understand how to create separation at the top of the route.
He's in his 6th year out of Stanford. Minshew with pressure, and and he's sacked. Patrick Johnson showing up a little bit, both in special teams and on defense, and it'll be 4th down.
Wow, it's just a big effort sack by Johnson. He gets up and redirects, and it's all effort. That's one thing you cannot teach is effort. He gets up, and then watch him redirect. See, he gets up, and then when the redirect, that's how you go get a sack, but it's all effort by Patrick Johnson.
Now, so the Cardinals lining up here for a 56-yard field goal. Chad Ryland out of the hold, out of Blake Gillikin. Trying to get the full leg into this one. And that is perfect. So Ryland, career long, 58, just 2 yards shy of that. Mid-season form, and the Cardinals so far have scored on every drive. Klint Kubiak's offense back on the field, and we've got a special guest when we come back.
Imagine it. The Max Mendoza Show. I'm your host, Max Mendoza, and today I'm here at a Heat game here with Chase Briscoe. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Do it.
What do you have to say? Any opening remarks?
I'm just happy to be here at the ESPYs. Happy to be here with you, Max. I'd rather hang out with you than your brother Fernando anyway.
I think I'm pretty cool also.
Well, Raiders fans have gotten to know Fernando Mendoza over the last 4 months, but the world has also gotten to know this man, Max Mendoza. You just saw a little clip there of the Max Mendoza. Hey, welcome to the broadcast
Thank you
booth.
so much for having me on here.
No, you were fantastic, and obviously your brother's getting his first action.
Yeah.
You got his jersey on, this amazing jacket. We appreciate it.
We're kind of digging his jacket. I don't think he's going to get out of here with it.
All three of us have offered trades here for this jacket. It's like deal or no deal. What's this been like for you? Obviously, your brother, national champion, Heisman Trophy, #1 overall pick. But you, the family, the whole thing. What's this all been like for you?
It's been really crazy just seeing like how this can just change someone's perspective on life. Like, it's really great. I see him work hard every single day, and being able to do this is just crazy in general.
You said he big-time motivation for you, someone obviously to look up to as you've been along this journey. Devin Tompkins out to the 29-yard line. What about Fernando stands out the most in those categories?
What stands out the most is just his kindness, his personality especially. Like, everyone, I know some people say fame gets to people, but for my brother, he's the same bro that he's always been. He's always been the same. This nice, kind of nerdy guy.
All right, so what's the best advice you've given your brother as he gets ready to start his first NFL season?
Best advice?
Don't smoke in bed?
No, I would say just the best advice is just to trust God and believe that he has a plan for you and that you're going to do great.
Well, for the audience just joining us here, yeah.
What?
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Right.
Great advice.
And Max, for the audience just joining, he got a couple of series in the first half. Had a touchdown pass to Jack Besh.
There he goes.
There he goes.
That's a good one.
I mean, you've seen him done so many things. The iconic play that everyone will remember, the run against Miami.
Yeah,
he puts his body on the whole thing.
I know.
Anything that he does at this point that surprises you?
I'm not sure really, because I've really known him. Like, I've seen his football playing style for a while, but definitely seen him open up to running a lot more. And now I always imagine him like a passing QB. But he can run, man. He can run pretty good.
Have you guys worked on a touchdown celebration when he throws one during the regular season?
We have not, but I need to start working on one with him.
Any thoughts?
Any thoughts? I'm not
Does
sure.
Fernando have any moves? Because we haven't seen him dance yet. You got some moves, Max?
He has some good salsa moves.
Salsa moves, okay.
Yeah.
So now we know.
Like, we can both hit something like that, you know.
Wait, so is this okay then? It's like,
Oh,
you know.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I like that. That's
How'd
pretty
I do? Okay. Kirk and I do the radio all season long here for the Raiders, and so we'll throw. So he said, you know, we saw in the schedule release, you know, make sure you call me the Nandalorian. What do you? I mean, is that a good nickname for you, for him?
Yes, that's a pretty good nickname. I like to call him Big Bro sometimes, or like, you know, just fun nicknames like that. But the Nandalorian's funny because
Good job getting rid of it.
Yeah, good job getting rid of that.
Well, you said you like seeing him run, and he can run, but you don't love seeing him get hit in the preseason, though.
Yeah, no hits. My mom would not like that.
So what do you think of the city of Las Vegas? It's pretty cool, huh?
No, it's pretty cool. Actually,
Have you got a chance to get around and see things?
Yeah, we actually went to the Sphere the other night to watch The Wizard of Oz.
How cool is that?
That was cool. The apples dropped from the sky and stuff. Super amazing.
Pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah, no, the screen like wraps around you. It's crazy.
It's like the entertainment capital of the world.
I know.
Did you catch one of the apples when it fell from the sky?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
That's a great promo for the Spear.
That is a booming punt from A.J. Cole. A 65-yarder that will come out to the 20. Max Mendoza show. The world's gotten to know you, and I have a feeling we're going to get a chance to do that a little bit more.
For sure.
Max, thanks for joining us, bud. It's so nice to meet you, bud.
So nice to meet you guys.
Max Mendoza, he's going to have my job in about 7 or 8 years. Miss this rare chance to leave your mark at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders. Capture your unforgettable moments with an engraved brick displayed for all the see during concerts and events. Proceeds benefit the Raiders Foundation, supporting military and veterans, youth, and health and wellness initiatives. Cement your legacy today at RaidersFoundationBricks.com. Now, it's fun to share a little time here with Max Mendoza.
Yeah.
He's kind of been with Fernando at every step of the way. He's got his show, YouTube, social media following. Hosted Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show, been on the Today Show, the whole thing, whole gamble. Red carpet at the ESPYs when Fernando won College Football Player of the Year, Men's College Athlete of the Year. Now, Cardinals offense has had 4 drives. They have scored 4 times. Keaton Slovis into the ball game. Kiner gets his first touch of the game, Corey Kiner. Well, it's been impressive, really, the whole preseason for Arizona. Their quarterbacks through 6.5 quarters of football. 40 of 46 passing so far here in the preseason.
Yeah, they've been efficient. That's the one thing, efficient. And they also had some receivers who've made some plays as well. Remember, they've played a preseason game already, and I think it shows how well they've played offensively.
Slovis on the rollout. It's a first down pass again. On the tackle, Caleb Offord, rookie undrafted free agent out of Kennesaw State.
And Kirk, it's not very complicated what we're seeing offensively from the Cardinals. I mean, it's a lot of the stretch runs. It's a lot of play action, boots offense, a lot of quick and intermediate throws. The quarterbacks aren't holding the football. We got to do a better job getting off a block, setting the edge. A couple times where we've not set the edge. We got to play a little bit better in the secondary, especially at the cornerback position.
New corners on the field. Chigozie Anusium out there. That's a big-time stick. And then the rest of the Raiders came. Hard run. Corey Kiner. And again, we talked about the crowded backfield for Arizona when you throw in Jeremiyah Love and Tyler Algier.
Yep.
To James Conner, the veteran, Trey Benson, both coming off injuries. But they've got some bigger backs here. They're trying to make the roster, too.
Yeah, Corey Kiner's a guy who played at Cincinnati a couple years ago, and he found himself on the roster last year making some plays when they went down a couple running backs. So they've got a stable of backs in Arizona.
2nd down and 7 for Keaton Slovis. Well-traveled college quarterback. Played a little bit active a couple times last year. Dumped it down. Kiner there. Brought down Patrick Johnson. We're calling his name a lot here in the 2nd and 3rd quarter.
And the reason why is because he's been a special teams demon over the last couple of years. You know, he's a Super Bowl champion and a guy who I think he finds a way to fit on a team because of what he brings on the special teams units.
Patrick Johnson on the field, number 93. Dalton Johnson, the rookie out of Arizona, 43. Both on the defensive side of the ball for the silver and black. 3rd down. Slovis floats. Oh, what a catch! Geez. Reggie Virgil one-handed over his shoulder and somehow brought that in for 23.
Well, if you're greedy, Vance, you're just sick, Kirk. Yeah. I mean, what else? He's right there. This is great coverage.
If someone would tell me what will the Raiders work on next week at practice, it's all about finish. They've been there, but they haven't found the ball. They haven't finished on the football. They've done terrific in coverage, but it's the end piece, that last part of it. You got to finish.
It's a good catch.
Unbelievable catch, too.
Kiner spun out of the tackle from Shago Alubi. And you talked about special teams, Kirk. You know, a bunch of the guys they signed here as May and into July, guys who have been special teams aces the last couple of years. And that's an area for the Raiders for so long that has been such a benefit that this team has had. Last year was a different story.
And look, I'll say over the years, it's honestly been because of the turnover with general managers trying to shape the team and how they feel. I think now the 2nd year of John Spytek, you're starting to see the Raiders have more depth at the special teams.
Well, this got away from the pressure, dumped it short. Sean Bowman. Check that. The other tight end for Arizona, Jamison Gears. It is a 1st down for the Cardinals.
I want to see more of Keyron Crawford, number 42. He's the Raiders' third-round pick, and I feel like he's going to be a guy that will continue to get reps. Look, we know Kwity Paye. We know what Max Crosby can do. But 42, I think, is going to be a specialized player that Rob Leonard uses in some key situations. And a young rookie right now is realizing just how hard it is to play defensive end in the National Football League.
Arizona takes a timeout. We'll keep it right here with 5:54 to go in the third quarter. Now there is Keyron Crawford coming off the field.
But one time the quarterback hands it off and he's crashing down to stop the run, and the quarterback keeps it. This time the quarterback kept it, and he's got a beat on the quarterback, but the quarterback steps up. So these are things that I can't wait for next week, because you see it on tape. The first parts of training camp, it's no live tackle. Now you have something to work with on tape that you can correct come next week.
All these young players, they just need a ton of reps. They need to see it over and over again.
Evan Hull gets the carry. 26-year-old out of Northwestern.
It's only been 11 practices, by the way. 11. And
remember, only 6 or 7 of those have been in pads.
Right. So in 11 practices, you're just trying to honestly get your install in. Like, you're just installing your base game plan and playbook. And then now you start to make the tweaks as the training camp continues on, preseason continues on.
And the Cardinals, because they played last week, their practices, their training camp began a week earlier.
Yeah, it felt like they started training camp back in June.
Wolves again back to pass. Long time in the pocket. Hall underneath. Rick Vance first out there to make the stop. Luby along with Cameron McGrone. In his third year out of Michigan, it'll be third down.
I like that little play right there. It may go down as just a regular routine tackle, but if you watch the Raiders during pregame, they actually practice that scenario right there. It's a receiver who gets the football, and it's all 3 defenders coming and telling him, hey, I'm outside, hey, I'm inside. And that's a nice job of converging on the football and taking a practice rep and taking it to the game.
10th play of the drive for the Cardinals. 5th of the game of 10 plays or more. Slovis shot to the end zone. Incomplete. Tight coverage from Offord. And the throw just a little beyond Reggie Virgil. And they will send on Ryland to try another field goal.
Good coverage by Offord. Doesn't panic. The ball's in the air. It's a nice job recovering, using his speed. Well done.
Chad Ryland will attempt from 40 yards. He hit from 56 on their last drive. And he is perfect. So the Raiders here in the second half have held the Cardinals to a couple of field goal drives. Down 2 touchdowns. Offense back on the field when we return. Now, Fernando Mendoza, the overall #1 pick in the NFL draft. In his first game, 6 of 11, 53 yards, taking some hard hits, too. He's scrambled a couple of times in this ball game as well. Looks like his day is not done. And remember, we heard from Klint Kubiak that he's going to get plenty of work in this opener, and he has certainly done that. Kirk Cousins started the game, led the Raiders on a touchdown drive, but so many veterans on this coaching staff. Mike McCoy, the assistant head coach, is one of those, Rich.
Yeah, the Raiders brought in a dynamic offensive-minded head coach, fresh off a Super Bowl run, and he doubled and tripled down on offensive experience and his assistants. Mike McCoy, Mike Sullivan, the quarterback coach, Rick Dennison, coaching the offensive line, knowing full well they were going to draft Fernando Mendoza, and that his development was going to be the key to getting things turned around here in Las Vegas.
The kickoff return. A lot of moves from Devin Tompkins to get free on the outside. And he is shoved out of bounds outside the 30 on a 34-yard return. But to all of those things, Mike McCoy last year with Tennessee, remember, he had the #1 overall pick last year in Cam Ward.
Yeah, that's the point I wanted to make, Jason. It was that, Mike McCoy went through the same process last year with a guy like Cam Ward. Now, it was a little bit different because Cam Ward was the day 1 starter, so it was going to be bumps and bruises no matter what, because he was going out there starting from week 1. That does not seem to be the Raiders' plan at the moment, but they know it's about bringing Fernando along a little bit slowly until he figures it out.
Hands off to Dylan Laube, who cuts it through the hole and takes it for about 5 yards.
I think it's a real luxury to have the quarterback situation that the Raiders have. I'll just throw a couple names out there. Aaron Rodgers, it seemed to work out pretty good for him watching Brett Favre. It worked out good for Jordan Love, watching Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years. And I'm not suggesting that that's going to be the scenario here. What I'm saying is you got a veteran quarterback that's in his 15th season. He's played some good football. You've got a young quarterback that's the future of this franchise. Don't throw him out there before he's ready. Let him get reps. Let him develop. Let him gain the confidence within the system.
And Thomas through the block. And to that point, Rich, and as Kirk, you just said, doesn't seem to be the plan for this organization. You go back to the Combine in February when Klint Kubiak, maybe a week or two after being hired, and they were asked about that. They knew they had the #1 pick 2 months before the draft. Our preference is to have a veteran quarterback to start and not have to start a rookie quarterback right from the get-go, and they said that 2 months before drafting Fernando Mendoza.
You know, I try not to look at other organizations around the league, but you don't want your first-round quarterback to not mature fast enough, because you could be in a situation like we're seeing, you know, over in Minnesota. I mean, they drafted J.J. McCarthy, and now you've named Kyler Murray your starting quarterback in just a couple seasons. Like the progression that you need, the development that you need, the patience is okay for the Raiders. I am okay with that plan.
And it's not just whether or not the young quarterback is ready to play. Is the team ready for the young quarterback? Do we have a veteran offensive line? Do we have an established wide receiving core? I mean, there's a lot of pieces that we're trying to build here. Let's not rush him out there until all the pieces are in place and he's ready to take control.
Now hit Derek Young on that 3rd down pass. Laube on the toss. Good penetration by Arizona to get outside. Jonah Williams came down in his 6th year out of Weber State, former LA Ram, and last year with 15 games with the Saints, loss of 1.
There's a big difference. I'll throw out a name, Joe Flacco, still in the National Football League, a former Delaware Blue Hen. He went to a situation, he was a later first-round pick at the Baltimore Ravens. They had Ray Lewis, they had Ed Reed, had a great offensive line, had a great running game. All he had to do was to step in there and just manage the game. He didn't have to win games. That's a much different situation than, you know, Cam Ward or some of these other quarterbacks that are being drafted early by teams that have really struggled.
That's a great throw. Went through his progressions and hit Brandon Johnson. We are seeing a lot of darts when he's throwing over the middle and he's got a little bit of time.
I like it. They call it the sprinkler, right? You see the sprinkler go choo, 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 and he's just going all the way. Go from progression 1, 2, goes all the way back to the right and delivers on time.
Kirk's great point. He's working quickly through his progressions, which tells you a lot about how comfortable he is in this system already.
Dylan Laube out of the backfield. Another 1st down. Pick up 15 more yards with 1:20 to go in the 3rd.
And I think that's the competition no one's talking about with this Raiders offense. We know it's going to be Ashton Genty. We saw Mike Washington Jr. early. Who's the number 3 back for the Raiders? Is it Dylan Laube? Is it a Roman Hemby? This is a little competition, and Dylan Laube seems to be making his point.
Devin Tompkins, and he is drilled to the turf. Owen Papo in his 4th year out of Auburn. Now Tompkins, we've seen him today as the kick returner, has been solid there. A little slot receiver, 5'8", not big, just 155 pounds.
But the hardest part, and this is what we talk about off the air, is you only get a chance to keep 53. I mean, it's difficult. How many receivers do you keep? Tight ends, running backs, cornerbacks, safeties. The Raiders have a lot more talent this year than I think they did a year ago.
Albie tried to bounce it outside, and he's wrapped up from behind.
I still think there's a lot of uncertainty at that wide receiver position. Some of these young players really need to grow up quickly. You look at an area offensively where, you know, there's not a ton of production and consistency. It's the wide receiver position.
But your number 1 guy is Brock Bowers. So what's the production at the wide receiver spot that you look for? Well, are you looking for like an 80-catch guy, a 90-catch guy? Because Brock's going to get 120.
He's not a tight end. I mean, he's not a receiver. He's a tight end. We use him in a lot of different ways, but you need guys outside the numbers that can compete, that can get you 75, 80 catches. This depth at that position is absolutely critical to the passing game.
End of the 3rd quarter. Fernando's got a 3rd down coming up when we return. You're watching Las Vegas Raiders football presented by Credit One Bank, official credit card of the Las Vegas.
Silver Surfer here.
This is the rookie, Ashton Genty.
No, but he's not afraid of contact.
It's going to be super exciting to watch me on the field and, you know, get your popcorn ready because it's going to be a movie every week.
Well, number 2 in year 2, Ashton Jeanty. You got a couple of touches early in this ball game. He is hoping for a massive year number 2. 6th overall pick in last year's draft, and he's going to be joining us here. I'll put the headset on here in just a couple of moments as the Raiders with Fernando Mendoza did not start the game. Kirk Cousins did. A 10-play touchdown drive to Michael Mayer. About to finish off what will be the 4th drive of this ball game for Fernando Mendoza, and he has got a 3rd down and 7 coming up from the 20.
Yeah, but I love what's going on here. You guys talked about earlier. Mike McCoy has got showing Klint Kubiak taking some of that responsibility off the head coach. See, he's over there talking with the officials, get everything lined up, letting Klint call plays, but letting Coach McCoy go out and make sure everything's intact and in line for this 3rd down play.
So they've got that situation settled. As they've got that settled, Ashton now does have that headset on down on the field. The pads are nice and comfortably off. Good enough to join us. Ashton, Jason Horowitz, Rich Gannon, Kirk Cousins upstairs. Last year, this time, first game, first touches. This little bit different experience for you.
For sure. Definitely. You know, it feels good to, you know, be back out here. You know, obviously year 2 and, you know, just get things. Oh, come on.
You said the same thing.
That reaction was the same thing that Kirk Morrison almost just jumped over, hoping that Devin Tompkins could reach that. Ash, to be honest, you want to see them go for it here on 4th down, don't you?
I definitely want to see that. But, you know, it looks like we're going to play it safe here, huh?
Yeah.
Go for the field goal.
Yeah, and they are bringing out Matsuzawa to try a field goal. Your hopes for year 2, you know, year 1, just shy of 1,000 yards. Running game was a struggle. This year, how does it feel different to you going into year 2?
Yeah, I think just more experience, feeling more comfortable. Obviously a new, you know, scheme. New staff, so obviously we've been working, you know, hard and, you know, getting better each and every single day. And so I think just building on last year, you know what I'm saying? Being a better version of myself as a player, a leader and teammate, I think is the most important thing going into year 2.
You mentioned the new scheme. Walk us through that. How excited are you to really be featured in a system of football that's really going to put an emphasis on the running game?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it already tonight. You know, that run game getting going, you know, Mike having that big run, I think, in the 2nd quarter. You know, so just sticking to the run game and, you know, that's going to be the identity of this offense. So super excited, and obviously to have, you know, another addition to the backfield, that's going to make us even better. And it's going to set up, you know, the play actions and, you know, the big play passes down the field for the receivers as well, and, you know, them getting down and dirty blocking in the run game.
I mean, you're only in year 2, and it's like you're the big veteran in the room. Like, everybody's looking up to you. Like, that's how quickly things change in this league. But I know this offseason you changed your diet up. You look like the Greek god of Ashton Jeanty. And there's a lot of people who don't know that you threw out the Sour Patch Kids, hey, right? Man. No more Sour Patch Kids for Ashton Jeanty, man. How did you change your body this offseason?
Yeah, man, don't gas me up too much. You got me feeling good over here. But, I think just being more just more thoughtful about what I eat, you know, each and every single day, you know, what I'm putting into my body, right, you know what I'm saying? I like to think of myself as like a Ferrari, you know what I'm saying? You got to put, you know, that 91 Supreme in there, you know, each and every single day. So just cutting out the bad things and only putting good stuff in my body, and I truly feel the difference.
Speaking of energy, Keem Sloan, the undrafted free agent on NC State, just had a massive sack. He's a boatload of energy every day in practice. Just had that. By the way, Ashton, don't worry. Kirk's got your Sour Patch Kids, so he's taking all the ones you didn't take. He's got them up here.
You got them, man.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Ashton, take a look. You're watching on the board. Tell us what you're seeing here on this 3rd down. You give it to us.
Shoot, I mean, looks like he's dropping back for a oh, he's checking it down. Make the tackle. Get him down. Hey.
They did just that.
Hey, let's get off the field right here. 3 and out. Come on.
Hey, last one for me, Ashton. The negative runs last year, obviously not something you can control, but I think 71 rushes with no gain or a negative gain, and that's not your MO. Just walk us through. You went back and watched the tape. What are 1 or 2 areas of your game where you can be better this season?
Yeah, I think trusting the guys up front, you know what I'm saying? Building that connection, and relationship, truly trusting in the run game. And so I think, you know, as myself as a running back, getting up to the line of scrimmage faster, I think could have cut out a lot of those bad and negative runs. So, you know, this year just playing faster and trusting my guys in front of me is most important to me.
Ashton, we appreciate you joining us here. We're going to let you go. Go enjoy the rest of this fourth quarter, but we'll talk to you soon.
All right, appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Devin Tompkins wrapped up inside the 20 on the long punt from Blake Gillikin. Yeah, you got the new quarterbacks. You got Brock Bowers. You got Ashton Jeanty, and we're a month away from finding out what it's going to look like in the regular season. Aiden O'Connell coming up on the other side. 27-14, Arizona the lead. Fernando Mendoza 4 drives here for the Raiders after Kirk Cousins got the start here in Las Vegas. Ashton Jeanty was great with us here, and you know, to pay off Rich, just to see what you were talking about. He, you know, all the missed tackles forced, but he had to because he was almost touched every other time he touched the ball in the backfield.
Yeah, look, 32nd in rushing in 2024, 32nd last year, averages just a little over 77 yards a game. With a first-round pick and a talented back, there's just no reason for it. You get a little bit better up front, got better play callers, better quarterback play. I think it's really going to help the running game.
Aiden O'Connell getting his first snaps of the preseason. And this gets to an interesting conversation as well. You know, Kirk Cousins is the starter. You know, Fernando's the future. Aiden has started a lot for this organization in the last 3 years. And a talented, at this point, backup, maybe different story in his future. But a lot of teams don't keep 3 quarterbacks.
Correct.
This is a conversation this team is going to have because he is a definite guy that can play in this league.
Yeah, he can play for sure. I mean, 4th different head coach, though, and 6 different play caller in 4 seasons. That's insane. It's not the way you want to develop a young quarterback. I give this guy a lot of credit for hanging in there.
Kept his hips in. Oh, and he hit Phillip Dorsett in the helmet. Couldn't hang on. That was a lot of movement for O'Connell to get out of the pocket. A veteran, former first-rounder couldn't pull it in.
But there's a lot of faith in Aiden O'Connell that you trust him to go into a football game for you. Now, is he a starter? I don't know. That's yet to be said. But in his opportunities in starting, he's had some pretty big victories on his belt.
Oh, yeah, he's had some big wins against the Chargers and Denver and Chiefs. And, you know, so, I give him a lot of credit for how well he's handled all the change around him. He's appeared in 21 games, 17 starts, throwing twice as many touchdowns as interceptions. The kid has some talent.
I remember it was against the Cardinals in preseason last year. That is a solid delivery to Phillip Dorsett right at the sticks. That is a first down. Remember, it was the final preseason game of the year last year in Arizona. Geno Smith was brought in to be the starter. He's the backup. He breaks his wrist. Raiders had to trade 5th-round pick for Kenny Pickett. So Aiden didn't play until the final game of the season last year. So all those 17 starts in his first 2 years in the league.
You know what the mistake was? The mistake was starting Gardner Minshew ahead of this guy 2 years ago. You remember that?
I agree.
It was a big mistake.
Back to the air again. Cedric Jackson to midfield.
This kid played well in the preseason 2 years ago. He threw an ugly pick, I think, in the 3rd preseason game, and they wound up starting Gardner Minshew in front of Aiden O'Connell, and I think it was a big mistake.
Yeah, I think we were in Dallas for the final preseason game 2 years ago. Cedric Jackson, great nephew of Bo Jackson. He got a touch, got in the end zone last year in December against Denver. First career NFL touchdown on a pass from Kenny Pickett here in this building. Dare Ogunbowale is in the backfield with Aiden O'Connell, who's through the hands of Okwo Ibunam. Well, he's never been afraid to put it in tight windows in his career so far with the silver and black.
You know, it's just funny because, you know, I go on social media and you see AOC is trending, and I'm like, oh my God, I go straight to Aiden O'Connell, and I realize, oh, some politics stuff. But so it's kind of funny that when you see Aiden O'Connell go out there, he just goes about his business. He's not a flashy guy. He goes out and he does what's asked of him from the coaching staff, and that's why you always feel like you want that type of player on your roster, because he's shown how selfless he can be with his situation.
Roman Henby got the handoff in space, and he takes it down about a yard or two shy of the marker.
And keep in mind, there's some flexibility for John Spytek and this coaching staff. If, in fact, quarterback goes down on another team and they need a veteran quarterback that can come in and be a day-one starter or give him some depth and production at that position. So who knows how it's going to work out for Aiden O'Connell, whether he's still going to be in the silver and black or whether he gets a chance to go somewhere else after training camp.
will be a free agent at the end of this season.
That's right.
He's got 4 wideouts here on this 3rd and 2 as we approach the final 10 minutes of the opening preseason game. And he miscommunication with Dorsett. So we'll see if they keep the offense here, and they will here on this 4th and 2. To your credit point about, does the work, everyone has given him credit. When they brought in Kirk Cousins in March, coaching staff said he never came in and complained. Front office said he never said anything. He knew they were thinking quarterback with the #1 overall pick. Didn't say a word. And as Kirk Cousins told us, I see a lot of Aiden O'Connell's career when I was looking at my career. Remember, Robert Griffin and Kirk Cousins drafted the exact same time by Washington. On 4th down for O'Connell in the pocket. Floats down the field. Dorsett can't get there. They wanted a flag. Instead, Elijah Colpin on the coverage. And the Raiders will turn it over on downs on the Cardinals' 42-yard line. Now, Klint Kubiak's team put up 14 in the first half. Unable to score yet here in the second. Go to break, and the Cardinals up by 13. Allegiant will connect you to a lot of different spots, and the connection of the game is brought to you by Allegiant, official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, non-stop flights only at Allegiant.com. Fernando Mendoza to Jack Bech in the second quarter. Touchdown strike. 10 of 16 for Mendoza, 96 yards, touchdown. He did lead the Raiders here in the 3rd quarter on what should have been a field goal. Matsuzawa missed a 38-yarder. Your overall take here, Rich, of Mendoza's opener in the NFL?
I was pleased with his body of work, his mechanics, his huddle command, his command at the line of scrimmage. We saw him work from under center. We saw him in the gun. I thought he threw the ball well. I thought he worked through the progressions. I thought he made a lot of really good decisions tonight in the 2nd and 3rd quarter.
A handoff from Slovis to Hall. Couple of yards through the middle. Buddy Johnson in there. Trevin Ma'ai.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rich. I just looked at his feet. That's what I wanted to see. How would his footwork be from under center and in shotgun? He looked comfortable today, and he's got some stuff on tape now that you can build on, because we can always say, okay, solid start, but now next week you're going against the Texans. You got a joint practice on Tuesday with one of the best pass rushes in all of the NFL, a secondary that is locked down. So now the test only gets bigger. We know the National Football League week to week.
Well, again, tracked down. And that joint practice next week, it's only going to be one. Right. We're going to practice together on Tuesday. Teams will be apart on Wednesday, and then Thursday, preseason game #2 in Houston next week. But to what you were saying earlier about the wide receiver group having to mature, come on, against that secondary, they're all younger, they're all talented, half of them are Pro Bowlers. That's a big-time opportunity for this offense to at least look what they could be.
And in some ways, the inter-squad, the work with these teams in practice, maybe even more important than a preseason game. You can control the environment, you can control the reps. And I just think that's a great opportunity for a lot of these young players.
Incomplete. Ball might have been deflected at the line by Buddy Johnson. Eden Slovis took a shot through the face mask. Dalton Johnson, the 5th-round pick out of Arizona, in on coverage, and the Raiders get off the field.
It's like you said, a little combo of Johnson and Johnson there. Buddy with the tip, or a little bit of a deflection, but right there on top of is Dalton Johnson, another one of those Raiders defensive draft picks of 2026.
Devin Tompkins has been on the field a lot tonight, both offensively, but he has handled pretty much all of the special teams. His 5th year out of Utah State. Raiders are his 4th team. John Spytek certainly with some comfort with him as they were together in Tampa. He's going to let that go over his head. He checks up at the 5, and Fehoko down there to stop it at the 1-yard line. They did that perfectly. A 51-yard punt by Gillikin, and Aiden O'Connell will be backed up. Well, the Raiders hoping to get back to their winning ways. Those trophies aren't going anywhere. They're hoping to add to it, maybe sooner rather than later. Along with Rich Gannon, Kirk Morrison, Jason Horowitz, happy to have you with us in Las Vegas. You never know what you're going to get. That could be the moon, could be the sphere. Either way, 8:25 to go here in the 4th quarter, 27-14. And, Rich, during the break, you think it just like a quarterback. We're at the 2-yard line. Let me throw it deep.
Take a shot. Off a play action. Here it comes. Boom.
Roman Hemby, the tailback, the undrafted free agent Teammates with Mendoza at Indiana. They are looking to throw to the near side and in and out of the hands of Cedric Jackson.
Well, a couple things. Better throw, and you know, you still have to make that catch. You know, so there's a negative on the receiver and a negative on the location on the throw. Better throw there by Aiden O'Connell, probably gets it done. But you'd still like to see Jackson make that catch.
Yeah, but this is another opportunity backed up, though. You don't get these, you get these reps in practice, but now in a game, you want to see how your offense responds backed up, shadows of your own end zone.
Patrick Gerd is the fullback in front of Hemby. And he just lowers the shoulder, gets a little bit of space out to the 4-yard line. Roderick Martin Rhodes at the bottom of that pile for the Arizona Cardinals. You know, we talked about this earlier, 10 new head coaches. Last year we saw a lot of teams that the Patriots, the Jaguars, other teams that made big-time strides do not make the playoffs. Seahawks didn't make the playoffs, then won the Super Bowl. You know, Arizona kind of in a similar boat as the Raiders. Not necessarily a new quarterback, but new head coach, new offensive scheme, the whole thing.
Well, you're also in a division that 3 of the teams made playoffs last year.
And one won the Super Bowl.
So it's always difficult when you look at the other guys around you, because that's where you're looking up to.
And of course the point that Rich made earlier about the AFC West too. Dorsett bounced in front.
Not on the same page there. It's a bad sequence of plays for Aiden O'Connell on this offense. Got a veteran receiver and just not on the same page.
And those are the things that situational football, Rich, when you go tomorrow to watch this tape, the meeting, you know, this is this area of football that we have to get better at, fellas. We're backed up. We need to get a first down. We've got to run the football. We've got to convert, because we don't want our punter, A.J. Cole, to have to punt standing on the D in Raiders in the end zone.
Kirk, it's a great point you bring up.
He's punted twice, 1 of 60, 1 of 65. And this one's about 56 for Smith Marset. Great coverage down there. And the Raiders, that was E.J. Williams Jr. who got all the way down there to hold on to his jersey and rip it apart. Well, when the game ends, Las Vegas begins. Experience world-class entertainment, dining, nightlife, and events in the sports and entertainment capital of the world. Plan your trip at visitlasvegas.com. Raiders' regular season schedule opens up with the Dolphins. Raiders haven't opened at home since 2021, so that changes this year against Malik Willis and that new look Dolphins roster. Then on the road against the Chargers and Saints. But to your point, difficult schedule going into this year with the AFC West, NFC West.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not a last place schedule, if you ask me.
That's a nice looking throw by Keaton Slovis. Yeah. Virgil between a couple of different corners for 18 yards.
That's a layer throw. You know, I say, oh, he layered it in there because it was the layer of the cake that just went right over the top of the defender, which was Dalton Johnson, who was in coverage underneath, and right into the hands of the wide receiver. This is a difficult throw. I know John Gruden used to call it the old honey hole. Look at that.
Yeah,
right.
That was well done.
Right in front of the safety, right behind the linebacker.
You know, that was made last week about Arizona's quarterbacks. Carson Beck, Keaton Slovis. They missed 5 combined passes in that game. Tonight they have only missed 4.
They look good offensively, despite the fact you got a lot of young players playing. You know, Kirk was talking a few minutes ago, Jason, just about situational football. Really on both sides of the ball. It's been a problem here the last couple of years. Offensively, third down, red zone, 2 minutes. The numbers were among the league's worst. And you know, John Gruden used to always say, you know, every room in your house is different. Like, you know, you don't have breakfast in your bathroom. You've had breakfast in your kitchen. Like, it's, you know, it's a part of your house where you don't sleep in your, you know, your basement. You sleep in your bedroom. Like, situationally, like, let's talk about, like, what happens on third down. What do we do when we get down the red zone? Things happen quicker. Get the ball up and down quick. What happens when we're backed up? We got to get a first down. We got, you know, all these things where the young players have to understand why. Why are we calling the play? What are we expecting? What's the coverage? What's the front? You have to be a high football IQ team, and that's what these coaches on both sides of the ball are trying to accomplish.
Raiders have 1 sack tonight, trying to get off the field. Oh, man, what a hurdle. The athleticism from Corey Kiner once he got into the secondary. He picked up 15 yards.
Las Vegas.
And the Raiders take another timeout.
30 seconds.
And, you know, people watching at home, Rich, you know, they took their first timeout with 6:44. They take another one with 6. There's a reason here. don't know what that is at this moment. There's a reason Klint Kubiak is taking these timeouts here.
He wants to get the offense back on the field. He wants to get some more opportunities. You know, you're down a couple scores. You want to look at some young players. You want to see players in different situations.
You know you need 2 scores, right? They're working through. And again, the mechanics. He's never been a head coach. He's got an entire new staff working those game analytics. When do you call timeouts? When do you try to preserve the clock? Those type of things.
Yeah, and the preseason is not just for the players.
Yeah,
I mean, it's for the
everybody.
coaching staff. It's communication. It's, you know, making sure that we're on point. You know, you got officials out here trying to get themselves in shape. But, you know, it's a chance to get better. It's a chance to put some stuff out on film.
Las Vegas, that's the last of the half. 30 seconds.
You know, you got a new staff, right? Everybody's working together. You got, you know, Rob Leonard calling defenses for the first time. You know, Klint's calling plays for, you know, a young quarterback and quarterback that hasn't worked with in a couple of years. So there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. But I think overall, Klint's got to be pleased with what he saw offensively. I would say, I would defer to you, Kirk. I'm a little disappointed with what I saw defensively tonight.
Yeah, but I think it's just the base coverages, right? They weren't going to show a lot today, and they had to play base against some of the things that will challenge you if you play base coverage.
Hey, you're an easy grader, man. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I'm just saying,
you give him a C+. I can't do it.
I'm not giving him a C+. I'm telling that I'm going to match the coverage, right?
No, I get it.
They're
but
tight ends and wide receivers. I'm going to put more cornerbacks on the field. And remember, this is these guys' first opportunity against another opponent. You know, they've been going against their own offense over and over and over again. And I remember what N'Kobe Dean told me. He said, look, our offense stresses us to a point where we can't wait to play somebody else to show our rules that we've learned to go out and execute at a high level.
Diner gets a 3rd straight carry, and the Raiders push him back. Kieran Crawford on in there, and he's the one who brought him backwards on the 2nd down play. The rookie out of Auburn first to meet him there on the 3rd down play. It'll be 4th down and about 1. Arizona offense staying on the field.
He's a young physical player. Won 42 goals in the game. Rob Leonard says just go be physical. You know what I mean? Like 42, go be physical. That's what your job is as a rookie. They're not asking you to learn the entire defense and you're going to be dropping and covered. No. When 42 comes in the game, your job is to be physical and set the tone.
And set the edge, just like he did last play.
Diner stays in the backfield. They weren't expecting maybe a 4th straight carry. Instead, you get a false start on Arizona.
They kicked the field goal.
False start, number 48. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
It's interesting, too. You know, we were talking about this just a moment ago, but you were saying, Rich, about it's preseason. It's not just for the players. Coaches have the whole thing. You know, coaches throughout history have waited till the end of quarters. Take our time out, preserve, because you want. You're down 2 scores. Right. And Klint Kubiak's taking his timeouts with 6.5, 6:20, because you want to know what you need, and you know you need to have enough time to get what you need.
And offensively, there's plenty of ways to stop the clock. You've got a penalty. You've got to, you know, you can stop it on incomplete pass. You got to get the ball out of bounds. So there's other ways to preserve time when you have the ball offensively.
Ryland misses wide right. He had hit 2, and that one not particularly close on the 33-yard attempt.
But now you've got 5 minutes. Now you've got some time. You know, get a quick score here. Now all of a sudden you're right back in this game. Good snap, good hold. He just pushes it.
Pushed it.
It's like Kirk with the wedge from 100 yards. Just pushes it. Just misses the green.
I'm gonna grab my 60 real quick. Watch. Grab my 60.
Little gap wedge.
Oh man.
All right, let's see what Aiden O'Connell can do here. Last series was not their best stuff. Let's see what he can do here.
Well, he's got a little bit more green to work with. He was on the 2-yard line on his last drive. A couple of different times he and Philip Dorsett were not on the same page. See if that changes here on this one. Oh, he pumps. He takes a shot down the field. Wide open man across midfield. It's E.J. Williams Jr. down to the 40. Colt made the tackle, but the rookie out of Indiana, another one of those players who was on Mendoza's national championship team.
There's a nice job on the over route. It looked like he was going to convert it to a post or back to the pylon, but he just kept going across, got lost behind that second level of the defense. And a nice job by Aiden O'Connell hitting him in stride.
Now, he kept that play alive. He's looking downfield. It's Chase Roberts for a first down inside the 25. Ojulari made the tackle, so they got the ball back with 5:08 to go, and less than a minute later, they're already inside the 25-yard line. Chase Roberts, undrafted free agent out of BYU. O'Connell back to the air. It's Robertson. It's through his hands. Couldn't bring it in.
He's got to make that one. That's right there in his hands. You said it. He won off the line of scrimmage. Roberts did. Nice little move to the outside to Sale. Got the defender on his back hip. And that ball's right in his hands. That's why he's got his head down. He said, I missed an opportunity right there. Terrific throw from Aiden O'Connell. He's made a couple of nice little throws. And what he does also, too, Rich, is he buys time by drifting. He doesn't drift backwards. He drifts to the side. You don't see that a lot from quarterbacks who can drift sideways.
O'Connell's 27. He'll be 28 when the season starts. On 2nd and 10, Cardinals bring pressure. Floats down the field, and it's behind Williams. That ball might have gotten tipped. Spiral was never there. He had Williams behind Culp if he could put it out in front of him.
Yeah, the Cardinals starting to bring some pressure. They just do a pretty good job picking it up, but Aiden O'Connell didn't have a lot of time back there to hold it.
Cardinals bring just 4, and O'Connell is pushed back into a sack. Wrapped up from behind. It's Elliott Brown in his first year out of Virginia. It's a loss of 10.
When does that clock go off in your head, though? You got to get rid of that football.
Now, the Raiders are going hurry here on 4th and 21, right? Down 13. You're not kicking a field goal. They're trying to go fast. It's 4th and 21. O'Connell the pump to the end zone. A little bit of contact. Marset never really looked in for the football, and that'll be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, it goes back to the sack on 3rd down. And that clock in Aiden O'Connell's head, he's got to get rid of the football. Because remember, you have no timeouts. But more importantly, though, throw the ball away. You still have another down to get to. So not only do you lose yardage, but you also lose time. That clock has to be sped up. Say, hey, it's not there. And he's trying to hold on to make a play. Got to get rid of that football.
Yeah, it's a promising drive that just stalled on the red zone fringe because of the sack.
And this is 4-minute offense here for the Arizona Cardinals. Raiders no timeouts. It's my time of the game. 9 on 7, Rich.
That's it.
Buckle your chin straps
Inside
on
run
defense.
period.
Inside run. Here we go.
The Raiders expecting it. We'll see if that's in fact what happens here with 3:36 to go in this preseason opener for the Raiders. 2nd game for the Cardinals. It is in fact a run on the inside, and it's about a yard. Raiders on the stop. Brandon Cleveland, the rookie. Big defensive tackle, 7th round pick out of NC State.
When I go all the way back to high school when it comes to these situations, had a great high school coach in Paul Paradon at Bishop O'Dowd High School. We practice situations. And you get to about 3 minutes to go left in the game. You're telling your offense, we're going to run the ball. And we're going to run it right down the defense. They've got to stop us. And now the Raiders defense, they have to go out and try to make a stop and get the ball back. It may be the end of a game, but this is a crucial situation to teach and to learn from in the coming weeks.
Slovis took that play clock all the way down to 1, and Hall nowhere to go. Jafari Harvey set the edge. Kean Sloan. You know, we've seen Sloan a couple of times pop. We were talking to Ashton Genty when he had the sack.
Yeah.
But he's a guy, again, undrafted free agent. His best couple of years were at Utah State. Final year at NC State. Kirk, you called one of his games last year in college.
Yeah, and I was like, who's this guy with the single digit on his back, right? This dude knows how to hold the edge. He knows how to get after the quarterback. And you just start to watch more and more on tape. And now he's an undrafted free agent to the Raiders. And you say, okay, I saw what these Raiders administrative guys have saw. That you have guys who can come in and play a key role that can maybe give Max Crosby a series or 2 during the game and still give you some production.
Cardinals have to snap it one more time before the 2-minute warning. Oh, it's a burst through the middle for Kiner. Inside Raiders territory, Corey Kiner has looked impressive here in the second half. He ripped off a 16-yard run, which brings us to the 2-minute warning. Cousins got things started for the offense. Mendoza had a touchdown as well. And a struggle, though, for the Raiders defense tonight. Cardinals up 13. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, 27-14 Cardinals. Their offense last week against Carolina, nearly 400 yards. Their offense today, 371 yards. But the headline coming out of this game, no matter what happened in this game, was going to be about that sign, that man. The overall #1 pick in the NFL draft. And we were talking during the break, Rich. I asked you, what's the word you would use for Fernando Mendoza's debut?
I thought it was solid. You know, I just think the mechanics in terms of there were delayed game penalties. There weren't 12 men in the field. There was an interception. He was a clean performance. I thought he made good decisions. I thought he worked through his progressions. I thought his feet were solid. I thought he made a couple really good throws. He had to drive the ball outside of numbers a couple times. The one throw he made off a play action early in the second quarter, where he just drove the ball between the linebackers and safety. The touchdown throw. I thought it was a really good night for Fernando Mendoza.
And I'll say this again: 11 practices.
Yeah.
They've only had 11 practices, and maybe half of them in pads. This was his first live game action. I don't go away from saying, oh, man, he's got a lot of work. You saw the glimpses of what I think Raider Nation should be excited about for the future. But there's also things that you build on and correct going into next week.
Clearly, the moment wasn't too big for him. Here's a guy that's played in a lot of big games, especially last year, including the national championship game. So I think the arrow is pointing in the right direction for our young quarterback.
And he did not play with any of the starters.
No.
You know, and we just saw Jack Besh kind of over there. So he's the one who was the receiving end of the touchdown. And the receivers last year took a lot of criticism, right? Jack Besh, 2nd-round pick. Dante Thornton, 4th-round pick. Never really worked out for either. Jack Besh tonight, again, year 2, from year 1 to year 2, could be a big time. And he's got the opportunity here with this receiving core as well.
I think, look, he's been one of my favorite players since he got here, because I know the kind of player that he is. Like, I know he was drafted in the 2nd round, and people expected him to be, you know, like a Luther Burden, right? You know, a big-time get-down-the-field guy. That's not who he is. He's a possession receiver that can make the contested catch.
Now, the Cardinals will have to snap this one more time. I'll take that final knee, and that'll bring this first Raiders preseason game to an end. Arizona's offense in 2 preseason games has been impressive. 57 points in their first 2 preseason games with Mike LaFleur. Klint Kubiak's offense the first half looked really good. One solid drive from Cousins, a great drive from Mendoza. He and Mike LaFleur, they're going to see each other again week 17 in Arizona.
Two bright young coaches that have, I think, bright futures. Both these teams, both these organizations need stability at the key positions, starting with head coach and quarterback.
Yep. First chance for Kubiak, and again, been around. He was with the Niners before the Saints, and then last year winning the Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator. Gardner Minshew, in his first Arizona performance, looked pretty good on a couple of touchdown drives late in the first half. Of course, was here a couple of years ago. Saw all the Raiders starters except for Max Crosby, one we did not see here in game number 1. Lots of positivity there. And again, you know, tomorrow we're going to all wake up and, hey, you know, the headlines in preseason games. Right. People, every team's got a lot of different headlines to get to. But in terms of national headlines, when you have the #1 pick, you have the Heisman Trophy winner, the national champion, the whole thing, and a franchise, Rich, that you were part of when it was back in winning days, but hasn't been like that in a long time. That, of course, is going to be the headline. And again, you want him to look solid. You want to put a couple of scoring drives together, and he did that.
Yeah, this is an organization that is in desperate need of a franchise quarterback. And, you know, I think Kirk Cousins clearly understands his role this season. But the future is number 15. And I just was pleased with what I saw tonight. I thought there was real poise there. We talk about his physical and mental toughness. I think his aptitude, his ability to handle a lot of volume, a lot of information. I think he's a guy that's going to be able to handle plays and check the plays at the line of scrimmage, get in and out of bad protections. I think he has a really bright future. I thought tonight was a really good start.
Let's go back to the beginning of the game, though. Raiders got the ball first. Kirk Cousins is your starter. And Klint Kubiak said that right away from the start of training camp. Kirk's going to be the starter. And he had one drive, and they put together a touchdown 10-play drive.
It was efficient. See, they just go down the field, and it seemed like everybody a part of the offense had a touch. You know, he's throwing it out to Besh. You see Tucker. You saw Mayer. And to me, Kirk Cousins has more command of this offense right now than Fernando Mendoza does. And you can see the competitive spirit, the competitive fire at training camp, at practice. He's letting the guys know. I saw him the other day. You know, he completed a third down pass, looks at Max Crosby, said, that's a third down completion right there. Those types of things that guys buy into, and they believe right now he's the leader of this football team. But we know Fernando Mendoza is going to be gaining on him for sure.
Yeah, he's got some fire in his belly, and I just really was impressed with some of the throws we saw from the rookie first rounder. And this one was just terrific. Just patience, just working through the progressions, pushing the ball outside on the boundary. The touchdown throw, location. You know, the excitement from the young quarterback. Did he get to keep that ball or not? But look at side by side the numbers. Efficient night for Kirk Cousins. He brings a wealth of experience. He brings a certain calmness to the huddle. Now, the one thing about Kirk Cousins, he's not the biggest guy. If you push him up inside of the pocket, that's been a problem for him. He's not a guy that's going to create and manufacture a lot of offense on his own. That's why you go out and spend the money on the center. You get better inside. And I'll tell you, the key to this whole thing, regardless of who plays, I really believe that we're going to see both these quarterbacks at some point this season. That's just my personal opinion. The bottom line is, for the Raiders to get to the next level, they've got to be able to protect the quarterback, and they've got to be able to run the ball efficiently. That, when you look at what the struggles have been the last 2 years, it all starts with playing better up front.
Well, you did see Ashton Genty with a couple of powerful runs on the opening drive when he played. Mike Washington Jr., again, part of this 10-player rookie class. That 53-yard run, you know, behind that offensive line. But Charles Grant, again, third-round offensive lineman drafted last year out of William & Mary. He sets that free. When you go back and watch it tomorrow, tonight, whatever it is, you're going to see him. That broke that out for 53 yards.
Yeah, it's just, look, things that you're going to next week work on. I'm excited because they're going against a formidable opponent in the Houston Texans. They'll have a joint practice. They'll have a preseason game going up against a well-coached football team that made the playoffs, won on the road in the playoffs. That nucleus, we'll learn a lot about our Raiders come next week.
You and I will be down there to see those practices coming up on Tuesday. The game will be Thursday. Looking forward to that. Then the Raiders back here will celebrate the final preseason game against the 49ers. Honor the 50-year anniversary coming up as well. That first Super Bowl. Raiders fall in the preseason opener to the Cardinals, but Cousins put one in the end zone. Mendoza threw his first touchdown pass as a Raider. I'll be back at it trying to correct it next week against the Houston Texans. For Kirk Cousins, Rich Gannon, I'm Jason Horwitz. See you next time. Take care.